our sound in the spirit of things. We lose our sight when we put our trust in things of this material world, of things that fade away. Let them keep coming back, 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 keep coming back. Of things we know. We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. Mysterious, that's the Wherever love goes, there is also misery. It's no mystery. And you and I, we got history, yeah. Wherever love flows, there is also tragedy. When we're in too deep. And you and I, we got history, yeah. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all the pain. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all the pain. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all the pain.
Find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right. It feels right. It feels right. Yeah, I can only say that it feels right. It feels right. It feels right. Yeah, I can only say that it feels right.
To get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground,
Jackie.
Regularities, living all the dreams, playing all the games, and getting high on love. They can chase us down, but we will always win. Leading every dance, feeling every touch, and getting high on love. We're invincible. Trust in me, we're invincible. Don't you see, we're invincible. We're invincible. confidence may fall, I'll be here as your foundation. And I say, hey, yo, just let it go. Your struggles won't remain. And I say, hey, yo, we're holding hope and wake up yesterday. So hold on to hold on to me.
Gave you too much, now I'm swallowed. Now I'm the fool while you're breaking rules. Dangerous path that I follow. Oh, go on, just do what you do. And it bleed for you, cry for you, oh, oh. Let me bleed. As I bleed for you, cry for you, oh, oh. Let me bleed. Let me bleed.
Welcome to our grand finals, Harry. When we went into this tournament, and in the group stage especially, we were under the joint tyranny of Louvre and Paper Rex. But even tyrants die, even kingdoms come to an end, and well, we're under a whole new reign of terror. We've got Southbuilt Esports taking on Boom in our grand finals of the Royal SEA Challenge.
Every frag, every flash, every peek, every ult, every win, and every loss, Kremer, has brought us to this moment where these two clash. This is the Royal SEA Challenge Grand Finals. The best the Philippines could offer versus the best out of Indonesia. Meow has created a super team, torn apart those who came before in Indonesia, and reconstituted those parts into a roster that is yet to drop a map in these playoffs. And Southbuilt, what have they done? They've slain Louvre, who hadn't dropped a map in the entire tournament previous to that, and then they'd carved their way through Bleed as well. Neither of these teams wishes to give over a single inch of ground.
Very, very strong run from Boom to get here. I think the most rounds any team has got on them was 9, and that was against Paper Rex. Beforehand, they ruined Bren. It's 13-4 and 13-1. Over against Paper Rex, they 13-4'd Paper Rex. This side has just got better and better, Harry. And while Southbuilt have had a very tough time to get here, they still got here under the duress of beating Bleed, and that was a game to watch. Southbuilt rightfully here, and Southbuilt, here's the thing. Even though they get battered, they get bruised, they get punched, they get beaten, they get kicked, they still ease their way to victory. They still win. And while it's never as pretty or as one-sided as Boom, they make it happen, and a lot of the time, no matter what the opponent is, they still find a way to scale that mountain.
The old kings have collapsed from their thrones, Kremer. The empire's up for grabs. And the first step on the journey to that crown starts with the pistol round. Southbuilt Esports will be opening up on the defense, and Boom, thus far unperturbed by anything before them, will moving straight out on the attack as his moves on forward, instantly blinded, sucked on in by the gravity well. And Boom start as they mean to go on.
Flipping out, joint on the crossfire with Jar. They have something to work with here, this crossfire. But Boom, they've gone quiet. They've completely stagnated. And it means that over on B, if Papachuelo doesn't aggress, then there's going to be no info for Southbuilt whatsoever. They just have to hope they commit to it. Luckily, they do with an entry.
Flippy's been seen, but what can they do from Pro's advantage? Up at the top, Jar's got themselves one, and Pro has found another with a shot up. Pro from heaven has done everything they can and brings it down to a 2 versus 2, but still, Flipsider and Tebotal, 2 of the newer players, they still remain. Papachulo's only got a frenzy in hand. At this range, Crema. Frenzy. It's not ideal. Waiting for suppression to wear off. This will give access to both the alarm bot and the turret. We need to be so quiet. So stealthy, Jar. Looking around to see if their flank will pay any dividends. They've seen where Flipsider is, but they've revealed their location in the meantime. And so they'll need to move in together. Time off their side for now. Jar. So low in their own right. Papachulo moves on forward. That's a shot with the frenzy. It comes down to a 1 versus 1. At this range, the Ghost should do a little bit better. However, Papachulo holds their nerve, holds the trigger, and holds down the A site.
Accuracy via quantity of fire, Harry. A wonderful round by Papachulo there. And it just comes down to being able to land that first shot. Then Punch catches that Flipsider. He falls, and like that, South built. They take our pistol round despite being 2 men down in the retake. And what I want to highlight, actually, is that flank from Jar. Really, really strong bit of decision making to go straight up A short, straight round to the flank, and allow their teammates to then push from gardens, giving you 2 prongs to an attack, whilst also being able to outmaneuver your opponents. Really nice bit of decision making there. And as we move into the bonus, we've got South built with a fairly standard buy. Pro, he brings out that big old LMG. We love to see it, Harry, and it may get some mileage here.
Pro has already done a little bit of bruising to Frostmind. And now to double down with the recon. Oh, any pings here could be punished. But Pro decides to let them live for now.
For now, it's the highlights of that, Harry, isn't it? Spro's got a lot of info.
Oh, your jump spots mean nothing to Aziz. A body shot is all that is needed. And now a double peek down Cat. Can Aziz do much here? That's going to be 3. At least 2, rather. If only I can count. That's going to be 3. There we go. Thanks, Aziz. Almost made me look silly right there. Friendly blind from Flippy. And that's going to be what looks like 4, but it's actually Flippy from behind who claims the kill. A flawless anti-eco here from Southville.
We talk about how Pro will let him live for now. As is, he took no part in that verbal contract. He's his own person, he's his own mind. And in that case, as you mentioned, Sheriff, 1 shot to the bodies. He looks to exploit that beautifully. And what I quite like as well from Aziz is he shows a lot of discipline there. He takes that shot, but then backs off the second he misses, knowing full well he could be punished, and that has a snowball effect. Boom move to their full investment. Standard stuff. Rifles around the board. Let's see if Southbuilt can make him sweat a bit as they move to this eco. Or to this bonus.
Oh, Frostmind forced off the angle for a little bit. And Aziz is going to be pinged by a recon bot from a drone. Starts to give away this angle for now. Berserk's moving on up, and despite an attempt at a quick scope from Aziz, he's going to be able to claim this quite easily. The new tip of the spear. It's been sharpened over the course of 2 matches, Crema. The quarterfinals and the semi-finals. Berserk's has been on it. And Berserk's has been refusing to relent, no matter the caliber of opposition. Flippy positions themselves at the top of mid, potentially combining with Jar, waiting for a time to strike together. Flippy takes their peek. They don't see Blaze just yet, but they know their location because of a fire from that Vandal.
These Spectres are kind of being kept at arm's length at the moment, but Flipside is such a big flank. Look at this, Harry.
Oh, Flipsider getting the rewards, reaping the dividends that have been put before them. They don't have a spike in hand, so they're free to move on up into heaven here and try to grab some kind of advantage. You're going to be going up against the Ares. Maybe we're going to beat that out, but no, Pro's going to grab that and get an upgrade. Papachulo now, hero of last round. What can you do for me here? All you can do is die, and Pro is all the same. 4 rifles survive from Boom.
It is a bonus, and for Boom, the objective is survive in that case. Keeping 4 out of 5 alive is a perfect road to completion. As they force Southbuilt into their full investment, we're now going to see the true mettle of these sides. More importantly, we're going to see our first revelation of an op in this series. For Aziz, he has had some very strong grounds with this op, and while he doesn't do these flashy plays where he's caught in a corner and does these 1v5s, he's never in a corner, Harry. His positioning is so good that he sets himself up for some of the easiest shots he'll ever hit, and he just does it so consistently that his life is it's on easy mode, isn't it? He just forces people back again and again, and I love that style of opping because it just gives you such an... It's so hard to mess up, that makes you so consistent.
The flip side on the other side. is trying to make it so that with that set knife, Aziz doesn't have the ability to move out of cubby with the operator, because while they're suppressed, of course, they can't use their dash away. So the one and done shots of the operator aren't quite as viable. I think they're onto the flip side, but nothing much more than this. So out comes an old command. Anyone afflicted with this does no longer have the utility they so would desire to stop this push forward. A blind onto Aziz means that this is a pretty good take thus far. The site is going to be secured. And if with one straggler left behind over towards mid, they might hear the approach here of Flippy. A battle between Flippy and Turbodal is going to be important to determine who gets control of B main. If Flippy checks the right-hand side right now, they'll get a timing. They have no idea, Crema.
Oh, this is going to be cataclysmic. This is going to be really dire for Boom if they don't suspect it. Luckily, timing means I think they do. And now to Botal, he goes from watching the flank to being the flanker. This could be so effective.
4 players on the site waiting to receive. Here comes Turbodal from the back. Already they've been afflicted with the vulnerable, so this means that Aziz now has a touch of an opening to try and find something with the operator. They've got everything they need to make it work, but they don't really have the friends to try it out. Going forward with the classic. The right click is good, and Pro's got themselves 3, but do they have time for the defuse? Aziz is already running away as Pro's going to try their luck on the timing. It's so close, but it's no cigar.
Oh, Harry. It comes so close once again. It comes so close once again. Aziz, he does save the op, which means that no matter how South Built invest into this round, Boom still need to be careful. But that retake, it's done beautifully. Boom, while their bodies unfortunately do fall, what they do before they die is they consistently drop their util. The Astra gets so much mileage, and what it means is that when the attack does come, there's such little time, you have to just rush the site, hope you get the kills, at which point they do. Too far gone, about a second out, and that's what that just little bit of delay is able to achieve it.
Once again, that set knife there from Flipside. Think about what it does even when Aziz isn't there. If Aziz doesn't get suppressed, you know that the op is no longer on that angle. And so you can assume that it's either on B or running down A main. Speaking of running down A main, I believe that Flippy did just that. Aziz is going to be forced to be backing off. But Berserks, with the knives in hand, they've claimed control of mid here. An updraft here could give them plenty of mileage, but hiding away is probably their best bet at the moment. They're attacked again. Stop bullying Berserks, he's just a little boy. Flippy, look at them rolling around the back. They can catch Berserks. They move on through. Easy clap for Flippy. And now Papachulo and Pro, they're moving with Sheriffs in hand to try and intercept this push. I think Pro's got a couple of lineups here to try and remove the planter. It lands directly on Frostmind. The second one, however, will be a miss. But Flippy's reign of terror is far from over. They've got around the back. They've found themselves some openings. They've dug in their fingernails, Cromer, and they are simply holding them down. With this numbers advantage, South Built Esports believe they can just overwhelm the lockdown. They're not scared of anything here. Already, down goes Timmy. Turbodal underneath in hell. Could be able to win this out. Frostmind's already found one. Aziz, can they get anything off the operator? The answer's no. It's down to Pro with a Sheriff. And I'm afraid the law's got no place here, Kramer.
Oh, I mean, tell you what, we've got a new form of law, and that's, you ever hear of that legendary 2v4 from the Ace site? In that case, I love the ult usage. I love the decision making from a lot of players that round. For Flippy, he aggresses to, rather than get the ult orb on A, he keeps going further onto the flank to get the kill to get his ult. What it means is that with that ult orb, if he picks it up, it gives an audio cue. It shows that they've pushed A main. If he goes with his persons and then attacks, he gets it with the element of surprise and kills a player. Over in the retake, we see a wonderful reactionary killjoy lockdown from Frostmind, having seen the Seekers go out, realizing that they're still against pistols. These rifles haven't been looted because they died on sight. Means that they are very, very easily punished, and just like that, they're able to punish, as mentioned. Really strong round from both Boom and Flippy there.
Well, Flippy's strong round is already over. A trade out there across A sites to A main. That brings both teams down a little bit in terms of a utility. I think it's a little bit more important that Flipside is down. They are so good at helping to really solidify some of these takes with their flashes.
I have the spike.
Oh, thanks coming. Pro. And Aziz. This is such a forwarded angle with the op as well.
Seems like at the moment they're not going to be rewarded for it just yet. Blaze, for the moment, just continues to lurk out elsewhere. What can Jar achieve? That's one. Can they get themselves a second? Berserks falls two. Oh, Duelist or Astra, or maybe even both. Jars found plenty. And Taybertle slowly walks for smoke, and they find themselves in the crossfire. A beautiful adjustment means that Jar finds themselves a 3K.
Oh, Harry, we've got a final on our hands, haven't we, here? These teams are both looking very bloody good. Aziz, he's kept this op available for 3 or 4 rounds now. What's really impressive with Boom is their utility is so strong, he's yet to kill with it. All of this utility, whether it be that owl drone you saw from Blaze last round at almost point blank, is forcing Aziz back. The follow-up recon dart, which means that he's worried about that rather than anyone who swings on him. It's little things like that mean that his utilization of this weapon, bear in mind it's a heavy investment, has been minimal.
Grab your porridge, grab your blankets, grab your coffee. We're going to be here for a while. Blaze isn't, though. Aziz instantly puts him down. Your info gather now is somewhat nerfed, and it's going to be relying very heavily on flip side of Jar. Just pokes on out, gets the first. Can they grab themselves a second here as they try and disengage? Taybertle puts up the smoke to try and give themselves a little bit more room to work with. And right underneath Jar's nose, Berserks has made their way through the smoke. Surely they wouldn't expect Berserks. If they turn around right now, how did you get past? Aziz is probably asking. And now Jar has no idea how this has happened. Berserks is on site with an op.
Harry, things have gone from bad to worse. All of a sudden now there's a lot of stopping power with Boom.
Jar's at least put a little bit of pressure there on that jet, but the spike has been planted. Nice little crossfire here either side of the door makes things a little bit more complicated for Jar, unless he can handle one hell of a 180. Nano swarms potentially. No, none are left remaining. And so now a decision has to be made by Boom. Are we going in or are we leaving? It seems like they want to go in, but Jar's the bodyguard. Berserks has found themselves a third. Papachulo all alone. Player not detained. The op in the post plant up against the Phantom. A tap on the spike. Berserks, they need to move forward and check on this. A hold here from Papachulo. Berserks takes the angle. That's going to be 4, and 4 on the rounds as well for the side of Boom.
Massive punishment onto South Built as well there. Being able to get to that flank, get that initial kill with the op as well. Bear in mind that I believe that Aziz was juggling both a Vandal and an op there just because he had that much money. That's massive punishment on Boom's part to be able to drop that Vandal over to Taybertle. Sure, it doesn't do that much damage, but it doesn't have to. It sets Frostmind up for the follow-up kill, allowing Berserks to have a crack at using that up. And as we mentioned how Aziz was struggling to get the utilization from it, Berserks, every weapon he's been using this game has been absolutely deadly.
That's a stolen operator as well. And they send it right back at Aziz. Flippy, they thought that they had blinded and maybe it would facilitate an escape, but it was just their fast feet that allowed it to happen. Berserks is utilizing every single bullet that they have in the operator. Hey, I didn't pay for it. No dramas, mate.
Look at this rotation as well. Back to Wayne. It's all down on Jar. Sure, we've seen some great rounds from him. We've seen some stellar performances. Can he stop a 5-man push with a Sheriff Harry in our grand finals? As if there's ever a time to do it.
45 health as well to their name. And the second that the traces come out, Flipside's like, I know you're in there. And I have no concept of mercy. Flippy's already incredibly low here. Papachulo and Pro, they've been able to do some wonderful things with their utility. Outcome for shot guards, maybe onto the classic spike plant site. They're going to arrive a touch too late to take out Frostmind. And this is looking increasingly untenable, Kremer.
That is. Some aggression may warrant a few kills, but
Pro Papachulo, though.
maybe a bit more than a few.
Oh my goodness, what an eco that we're seeing right here from the Filipino side. Out goes the bounce. Can they find Berserks? That's a miss right now, but still, this turret is active, and this turret makes things more complicated. So too does its owner. Frostmind joins the frame. Berserks actually throws away the operator here. In Liu with grabbing a Vandal.
Something you need to remember, Harry, this is Boom's map pick. They want to be here, but what the burden that comes with that is they now need to really make this one-sided. If they don't, South Built, they move to Haven, a map that we've seen them have some incredible performances on, a map that I don't think they've lost in playoffs yet, and they're going to have to try and topple Southfield on it. But Boom, just try and gain some momentum. Use that to go into your next map. But for the aggression in A here, stop it.
Oh, Pro. Yeah, that's going to be some way to stop aggression. A well-placed Nano Swarm from Papachulo softened up multiple targets. And Papachulo actually avoids being suppressed, so Timothy remains viable right here. Seems like it's going to be a flight from B site instead of trying to fight their way through to that lockdown. They seem fairly comfortable with a retake here, and that's what we know South built for, Kramer.
That it is. They are the retake team. What I really like as well is the double use of ults here, but as that fades, Harry, we have a big attack coming.
This is Op back in hand. This is what they like to play with. This is where they shine. They've got a double angle to deal with, though. Flipsider at the front, Berserks at the back. Elsewhere, the Wipers are trying to make their penetrations in. Berserks is going to start walking, but Aziz has gone up high. Flipsider, they see the rifle. But what more can be done now? Pro's taking down Tebodal. They know exactly where this null command is. They get the additional fire rate onto their weapons to make it even more deadly. And Flipside is going to be making great use of it from the back of this site. Already they've got two. Can they find themselves a third? A wallbang onto Pro leaves from low, and that's going to be a finish. Flipsider goes big on the KO.
It's just what's needed as well. You've expended so much the null command. You've thrown in your divide, your lockdown. You have to win this round. And Flipsider, he makes sure that's exactly what happens. Southfield, just for a fraction of a second, they lined up, and that's all Flipsider needs. Instant penetration on two of them, killing them both into the 1v1. And well, we know Flipsider, he's no Sentinel. He is more a duelist at heart than anything else. And a solid round from Boom, forcing Southfield down to the Sheriffs again. Sure, they've got an ult advantage, and they still have that Hunter's Fury ready to be used on Pro, which does have that extra stopping power, but it's where they use it, it's how they use it, which is really going to matter. And we know Southfield, as the retake team, I doubt we're going to be seeing them use ults unless their hands are forced.
Once again, Southfield Esports have been forced down to an eco. It's been back and forth on their economy. Paycheck to paycheck for a while. And look at this. The kill squad starts roaming up A. But who lies in wait but Flipsider? Jar takes the first. Easy frag. What about the rest of you? You feeling lucky? Flippy certainly is, but Aziz maybe less so. 2-for-1 trade. And now Flippy's got themselves a weapon at the back, Kremer. But Berserk's is actually wrapped around them. A-site is no longer friendly territory. Blaze is going to be revealed at range. Tebodal's unable to win the war. Not much left, but Blaze is forced to turn around. What a distraction for remainder of Southfield. Could this be the eco? Follow the Seekers, follow the Cabbages, find it, Berserks, and take them out. Flippy's on the edge of the ace. The sub of the team coming in now and then when comfort demands it. And Flippy's looking bloody comfortable right here. There is the ace. Oh, Flippy turning it upside down.
We did an interview with Southfield yesterday. We asked them, are 6-man rosters the future? The answer was no. No, they're not. They're what teams should be doing now, in the present. This is how you win. And I think we've just seen exactly why they believe that. Flippy, an incredible round there. To go with a 3-man aggression on A, sure, you're only hunting for a gun. You get that, you realize you have a crossfire on the spike in mid, and they punish Boom. Because they're spread out in this default, they end up really isolated. In mid, you take each 1v1, whoever's not being looked at takes the peak, you take the fight, and as each player falls, you pick up their gun and use it against them.
Oh, Berserk's has already expended 2 of these precious knives, and they're going to be once again pinged by that recon bolt. That makes it easy for Papachulo to take the swing. They had such a good game yesterday, Kremer. Papachulo, the father of Filipino FPS. And Daddy's back, baby. Oh, things just got very complicated for Jar. The second you start running from a Hunter's Fury, Flipsider is looking to try and punish you. A counter Hunter's Fury right here. They anticipate that Frostmind isn't going to be having another one of their lockdowns before the end of the round. 3 versus 3 it now lies to. But A is not controlled territory anymore.
That it isn't. What's really interesting, Flipside, he's so low, he takes the site and now holds it. He's done all his work now. All he has to do is shoot. Oh, he can shoot, Harry.
He's got himself another one. This could be yet another ace, but Pro says absolutely not. 2 versus 2. Killjoy versus Killjoy. Sova versus Sova. Look at this flank that's coming through right now from Blaze. They're into instantly spotted. Papachulo tries to adjust onto Frostmind. It's going to be Pro who finishes for job. Thanks for softening him up for me, mate. Don't worry, I've got this.
Neck and neck carry, and both of these teams look so damn effective. Pro, his info gather has been flawless leading up to this. Very, very impressive performance from him so far. And sure, while his kills are doing very well, 14-7, he's top fracking the server. What is really giving Southbuilt their effectiveness is this info gather. Berserks time and time again has tried to get up mid, and just the pings, the constant harassment from Pro has made it impossible to do.
Remember, guys, Boom yesterday, they dominated on Ascent. They beat Paper Rex here 13-4. An even half right here is indicative that we have quite the grand finals on our hands. 10k on the line here for Royal SCA Challenge, and Flipside is up to their same old tricks, Kremer, as an attempt for a B-site plant is taken and given.
Look at this aggression.
This is quite a bit to try and deal with. The Bulldog here. At close range, it might not matter. They might try and outpace the drone. They're going ahead of it, but Papachulo with the peel. You shall not find my drone-wielding ally. As is here, it's going to be difficult to try. What? The no-scope! Frostmind gets absolutely dominated. As is looking to go on in now, probably with the shorty. Who knows? Who's remaining? It's 2 versus 1. And who's at the back but say Birdland? They've been forced to move away. Now they've got to use that gravity well, but the second that it finishes, it's a resumption of the defuse, and we go 6-6. It could not be closer, Kremer.
Harry, this is some incredible Valorant we're seeing at the moment. What on earth was that from Aziz? He just ruins his opponent with that.
Can't miss if a barrel's touching you.
That's true. You're at a stage where they're so close you physically can't miss. And in this case, he shows exactly why. We move this pistol
one of those kids that played Duck Hunt with a light gun right up against the TV
screen. Boom. This is going to be such an important pistol round. Bear in mind that you've lost a lot of momentum. Southbuilt, they end that half with a 3-round spree. You need to shut that down before they close out this map. Southbuilt historically have been a very defenders-heavy team, but so have Boom. This attacking side has proven to be tough for either position. The fact that Southbuilt have been able to make it 6-6 is very impressive.
When it comes to pistol rounds, Kremer, my eyes usually on Jar. They are an absolute wonder with that ghost. Look at Berserks here. They've wrapped themselves into a cubby. They remain undetected, but Papachulo, they're on rear guard right now, making sure that no one comes on out. This is going to be a double peek potentially. They're trying to set down their bot when they're racked with bullets from Berserks, but now the jig is up. They know someone's behind. Tabell's already got themselves another one. And as for number 7, 3-3, you thought the bird was your ally, but speed was mine. Tabodal can't get any more shots out when it ends up in a 2 versus 2 once more, with the door being closed on A. Frostmind is keen to make sure that that is no longer going to be an area that doesn't need to be considered as they prepare for a crossfire retake.
This setup from Southbuilt is really strong as well. You can't take duels with them unless it's on their terms here.
Bro, playing behind the generator, an attempt to force them out here with the shot darts. Reveals them for Frostmind, and it all comes down to Jar. It talks about how they are one of the greatest pistoliers in the region, but unfortunately, 2 versus 1 is too much to ask. Boom managed to convert on their pistol round.
Oh, Harry, things are looking pretty dire for Southbuilt off the back of that. They needed that pistol round to keep their momentum. The fact they haven't means that we're going to see Boom start to put some space, try and put some distance between them and their Filipino counterparts. And while Southbuilt go into the old shorty, the old sheriff, maybe some classics, it's going to be nothing more than pistols. We've seen Boom have actually favoured going for a force spy on the second round to catch out their opposition. I like the respect that both teams are showing each other to not do that, stick to the classics, and just focus on what you do once you get those heavier caliber weapons.
Berserks has invested heavily here to get the Bulldog on the anti-eco, though, so mid is definitely their zone. And it's only going to be classics that are hunting it down. Where is the Aziz Sheriff? It's on A main at the moment. They're covering in case someone comes out of wine to try and stop the claiming of that orb. Pro will be noted here from that indestructible dagger on the other side of a wall. Flipsider, hopefully today we're going to see a fragment to destroy a set Killjoy lockdown in A main. We get very excited about those, Kramer.
We do. I do like my Killjoy ults. As is. The Sheriff, though, that is really what matters here. Flipsider's going to have to try and stop him.
Flipsider, the one who could try and go through plenty. The fragment is prepared. They have a sneaking suspicion that Southbuilt are here. And yes, as the stars come on down, so too will the fragment come out. That's a beautiful gravity well. Sucks in Jar. There's nowhere left to run. Multiple people are going to be suppressed. There's the pop flash itself. Flipsider now waits to make contact. That's 2. That's 3. Can you get 4? You bet that they can. Beautiful tracking in the air. And it's a massacre against the eco for Flipsider.
What on earth was that timing on the frag there? That was amazing. With about 30 seconds left, Flipsider, the second his opposition pull out that Hawk, okay, with a flash in, Flipsider drops that fragmentation. An incredible reaction on his part, and that can only come with some masterful game sense. A really strong round from Flipsider, and it's only in the semi-finals did he reveal this KO on Ascent. Now in the finals, he's just hammering home how effective it is as a character.
Look at Flipsider here. Set flash. However, no one's there to catch it. Instead, the action's mostly happening in B and mid, alongside this drone right here. This will alert Boom to the fact that Southbuilt, they're coming. They're claiming this space. Timothy will fall after noting Aziz's presence. Oh, wait, is this a walk here from Flipsider? They stay within the smoke, and now off that ping, I don't think they're going to be too keen to try and move on forward into what could potentially be a crossfire.
Now Frostbite on the shoulder peak. He knows the attack's coming. Accompanied by a Sova. Can they stop him? It's going to be a tall order.
It's a moment for Jar. They found themselves an entry into the site, and with Flippy's help, that's both of the defenders down. They were anchoring in the pits, hoping that maybe they'd catch people unawares, but the double pings were too good. Pro's info gather has been absolutely sublime. And now in a 2 versus 5, SBE, they are hoping for a flawless round here, and it seems like they might well find it.
They go into a flawless round, barely being scathed, Harry. Look at the HP on them. They've been tickled here or there. They may be grazed by the odd bullet, but for the most part, this is going to be a very economic round for them. To be able to win with a spike plant without dying, that's a best case scenario. Sure, you're against the bonus of Boom, but when we talk about bonuses, we say it's a matter of how many players you can keep alive. In this case, they've done it perfectly. With a full investment of rifles, Boom are going to have to mimic that next round. Berserks, he may just quickly suicide to the bomb here. That's exactly what he'll do. He'll accept his death with open arms, released from this mortal coil, as Southbuilt now look to try and catch up with Boom.
Finally, Kramer. Berserks may believe they can rest, but there is no rest for the Wicked, and certainly Wicked are these 2 teams that have made it to our grand finals. A lot of pride on the line for the pair of nations. Remember, those of you in the chat, all of these players that have made it here very much deserve it. They are the best that this tournament has had to offer. But I know you guys do like your national pride when it comes to Valorant. And this match will inevitably be referred to in the future.
Flipsider, he hears a lot of aggression in mid here. He hasn't quite been able to deter it. Instead, just getting an idea for presence there. But what has been able to deter it is killing them, Harry. Who'd have thought?
It really calms them down a touch. You can hear the dull din of the Odin over on B. Penetrating through its usual wall, and so Papachula decides, you know what, maybe I won't. I'll pass on that one, bud.
Jar now has quite a bit of pressure on him, realizing that the B attack is stagnated completely, sort of fizzled out. He's got to try and deal Berserks.
Berserks and support right now of Tay Birdle. And neither of these guys are slouches when it comes to the gunfights. Still, maybe they can execute here together. Flippy, remember the fragment can be combined here with the gravity well. It's the same tricks again, and Flippy's forced to move away. Jar now needs to make a distraction, but Berserks, all they feel is focus, laser focus through that sight. Papachula's going to take him down, but Flipsider is so quick on the reactions. And man, the gunfighting of Flipsider is so difficult to overcome.
what's really strong from Boom there is, as you mentioned, the gunfighting, but it's also the fact that they are able to fight like that with always perpetually having someone there to trade them. Every time Southbuilt try and force a gunfight, they're taking a 1 versus 2, and the positioning of Boom helps them tenfold in that. We're going to see a massive power spike from Boom this round as well, when 3 of their ults come online to accompany the null command already available on Flipsiders. For Southbuilt though, we are going to see it from Pro, Flippy and Papichulo, but it's how they use them, because Southbuilt, as we've seen, only like using their ults in an afterplant circumstance.
Let's talk about macro power levels here as well, Kremer. For reference, this Ascent, this was the only map that Southbuilt dropped yesterday up against Bleed. And this was dominant for Boom up against Paper Rex, 13-4, I believe. So this being as close as it is very, very intriguing. I'll let all of you in the chat extrapolate that as you will.
This is a really good read by Boom here. They realise that actually this could be a turnaround to be on. Well, turnabout is fair play. In this case, Blaze, this arrow is going to be so important for any info.
They decided to give it away for a moment. Remember, they've still got the Odin. They could have their chance to get some free frags. The Odin stands prepared. That's multiple pings. And so it's time to rack these chambers with a high caliber LMG. Down goes for lockdown. Do you destroy this at range? You might have the option to do so if you happen to be the Sova. They're waiting on something. Waiting on the chance to try and run away. They're waiting on Flipside to already get 2. Flipside gets a 3rd. What is going on? Flipside has got 4. Only Jar remains in a 1 versus 5. And Flipside is hunting for that ace, which is going to be denied. Jar might want to hold on to this rifle, but they're not going to be given the chance to do so. They take Blaze with them, but they won't take a dub.
Damage is good, Harry, but you know what's better? That's taking a round, and in that case, Flipsider, he is really starting to show himself as an incredible player. 23-14 is the throne he finds himself on right now, and while he did activate that null command, it was for good reason. An incredible little just 1v1 after 1v1, Harry, and it's the nature of these gunfights which is giving Boom their quality. And I really like actually from Southbuilt, the second they realise they're pinged, they all stack up behind that box, so Blaze can't spam them with that Odin. Nonetheless though, it looks like we may see a faster hit tailored to A, with Flipsider, the aforementioned player, hiding by Wine.
Yeah, it's a faster hit, but baby, I'm the emergency brakes. Flipside has got 2, and the aim is just so clean. It was actually Berserk to hit that headshot, but I think there was 146 headshot coming through from that Phantom. Now what for Flipside? 2 people still here. You don't really want to risk dying stupidly, but Flipside is feeling it right now, dude. John Flippy could take this as a double peek against that star, could make that much more complicated. Papachulo is skirmishing in mid, and they have beaten out Blade. There's the pop flash. A second one is considered. They see exactly where Flippy is, and Flipsider and Berserks actually share out the kills. Our frags, Grandma.
Our frags. 25-14. Berserks on 18. This is a 2-man hit squad that are looking irreconcilable. Southbuilt, they moved their investment. They have an ult advantage going into this, but they don't have someone with a standout performance like that Flipside, like that at Berserks. And Boom, I need to credit this again. We said it earlier in the first half. It needs to be highlighted again now. They have done such a good job at containing Aziz that he's been unable to get any kills, he's been unable to explode. And it's not because he's playing badly, it's just because Boom have done such a good job at isolating him as a player.
Boom allow none of these shenanigans. Out goes an op shot, and here forth comes a Hunter's Fury. But nothing really gained. Everyone gets away scot-free. No scratches, maybe a couple of scarred nerves, but little more than this. Flipsider, here we go again, baby. The same dynamic duo keep on going forward, and they refuse to give an inch. No matter how many miles you wish to take over the course of this series.
Boom. We said earlier, their attacking side is their weaker side, and that's really starting to show now, isn't it, Harry? Once Berserks gets that up online, once Flipsider gets his full buy, they are looking unstoppable. With a fragmented South build, they're going to try and turn their attention back to B, where Frostbite will be accompanied by Blaze with this attack. The ping reveals one player. The shock darts won't do too much damage, but the knowledge alone could be what causes South build to fleet.
Stacking up now with their rifles. They've been noted here. Likely the Nano Swarm going to come out in just a second from Frostmind. It's going to be destroyed, in fact. And the Cosmic Divide might well isolate these defenders. Their pace, though, is going to be slowed as the Nano Swarm got in their way. Papachula now needs to try and make an entry, but Frostmind catches them. And Blaze and Frostmind together. I know you were coming in, keen to try and help us out there, boys, but don't worry. We've got it.
Yeah,
no need to worry.
We've seen how good Flipsider and Berserks are. Now Frostbite and Blaze want to show, actually,
Berserk popped the Blade Storm, man. It's like, I'm coming, senpai.
Yeah. They're not the only power couple here, Harry. It turns out Frostbite and Blaze as well have their own little thing going. Over on A, there is the Motel, accompanied by that aforementioned duo of Flipsider and Berserks. And they're doing what Paper Rex do with their duelists, except they're doing it with Flipsider, which is this two-man hit squad that just hunts for kills, hunts for picks, and looks to punish at every given moment. The knives are out from Aziz. Will that be what's required? Will that be the difference maker here, as they are on the precipice of match point?
Aziz needs to try and find a way to crack this open. Across mid might be their best bet. They're going up against Berserks. That's a beautiful jump. Making sure the crosshair placement was not going to be good enough. Flipsider juggling out those weapons, making sure that that operator cannot be reclaimed by its original owner. Frostmind has beaten out their counterpart. Flipsider tries to catch this aggression. The op won't do much, but now Pro, they catch Flipsider with the fragment in hand. And Pro now is the linchpin. If you want to rotate to help out this site, you've got to get past him, and that's going to be a combination of fire that tears through Frostmind. Trying to deny this match point away. Only Blaze remains, but there's plenty of space here to try and work with when it comes to that economy. Still, Blaze will lose their life, and, well, South built. They got to try and cobble together something for the rest of their team that didn't survive.
Wonderful opportunity from South built to turn this around, and that comes off the back of just taking that initial duel onto Blaze. Just completely wiping him gives you that momentum. It means that Flipsider has to try and make up for the lack of duelist by going extra aggressive. He's punished in doing so, but now the reinvestment of the op means we're finally going to see this op duel between the Jets. Unfortunately, it won't be this round as Berserks is pushing B.
Berserks. A little bit frisky. Seeing if it can catch out anyone lacking. At the moment, all the positions are disciplined. And with Timmy as well. It's a slow default. Seeing if anyone wants to be a little bit reckless, Kremer.
The setup, it's all down to patience now. And Aziz, he punishes it.
Patience was good. Now with that fragment gone, Berserks finds Jar on the other side. A pair of operator frags, a pair of jets gone wild. And Flipsider's already found himself yet another one with no command here. Removes his options to use that utility. Now remember, that corpse is still alive. Oh my goodness. SBE just seems to finally be winning gunfights. Frostmind by themselves. That's one. Can we get two? You bet they can. Three.
Oh, Harry!
Frostmind does it by themselves!
What?
Indonesia is feeling the cold!
We saw him play with that lockdown for a second, and I was going to say that is a bad idea. I don't want to see him using that at all. But hey, you don't need abilities, Harry, when you can aim like a god. He sees Frostbite, he sees Flipsider, but he's having some great games, and he decides, you know what? It's my turn in the limelight. Swaggers in 1v3. That's how you take map 1 in your finals. That is your confidence builder. And for Boom, being able to topple Southbuilt on their map pick. 13-8, we now move to Haven. Southbuilt, they've chosen to be on Haven. Let's see if they can show Boom why. We're going to go to a quick 5-10 minute break. When we return, the action will continue. Don't go anywhere.
your smile. Now the sunshine brings the light. Fill me out with a flame. I will let you in this game. Take me out when I'm down. 'Cause with you I'm safe and sound. 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 Bring that beat back.
Last time, Harry, we saw Boom play on Haven. It was in day 3 of the Group A group stages. That's how long ago it was. And they lost to Kingsman 13-10. Before that, they played against Todak on Haven, where they won 13-2. That's it. That's all we have on the Boom Haven this tournament.
Not a huge data sample, admittedly.
Yeah, they don't often play this map. However, we know that South Built do. We know South Built are pretty bloody good at it, Harry. We saw them play it against Boom, where they won 13-9. We even saw them force it against Louvre, where they won 13-7. This is the South Built map. And for Boom, while you are going on to this on the back of a victory, on the back of an incredible 1v3 by Frostbind, you're still moving into uncharted waters.
This is a map, Cremor, with 3 sites that is designed for retakes. There's no way you can hold the site in potential 5 versus 1 or 2 scenarios. There simply isn't the number of defenders available. However, with Boom deciding to start on the defense, they could be hoping to destabilize South Built by making them do some offensive executions first to shake their confidence.
You're absolutely right. And I think South Built, if you can try to shake their confidence while they're on their attacking side, you then set yourselves up to try and mitigate the damage you'll take on your defense. Both of these teams prefer their defensive side, and I think the starkest contrast is for Boom, where their attacking side is pitiful compared to their defense. We saw an Ascent, I think it was 6-6 at the end of half time. When Boom then went to their defense, they only allowed South Built to get 1 round. And we saw it yesterday as well, actually, against Paper Rex. The game looks close, but then Boom moved to their defense, and suddenly Paper Rex seem largely they just get beat, they get countered. in this case, let's see what happens here with Boom now starting on their defense.
Feels like a pair of teams that really do excel on their own defenses here. Probably got ourselves to take pause here. Yeah, there we go. Explains why so many people are currently sitting still. So let's have a look at the agents that we have. Both teams are opting for double initiator, but one team has gone for the Sky while the other has gone for the Breach. Remember, the Sky doesn't have as much ready access to concussions, and of course, their utility can be a little bit more telegraphed because obviously you have to path the dog and it makes a little bit of noise it's going.
Yeah. I quite like the info gather on Boom. With both the Cypher and the Sova, you have a bit more active info gather by being able to throw the cam deep, by being able to work on your cam when regardless of how far you are from the site. With Papachulo, the Killjoy utility means you can kind of leave an area of the map unguarded, but you still have to be within the general premises if you want it to be effective. So Boom have a bit more versatility. They're allowed to maneuver a little bit more with this character selection. However, for South Built, their agents mean that they can take a lot more gunfights because, of course, you have that extra bit of util from that flash. You have the heal on Flippy as well, which is going to be so important.
Is the heal being purchased? Oh, the heal is indeed being purchased for pistol round. Very important on the side of the Flippy here to have that heal. Remember that you're often going to come out of fights a little bit scarred. It isn't like rifles who hits the headshot first. With the pistols, the small arms fire, you can often just come out battered, bruised, and very much worried for your health.
That they do. South Built moving in through mid now. Just trying to get this extra damage, and then running straight to the site, which is unguarded. Flipsider, we can just play retake with this.
Oh, they found themselves a ping disease, and that makes it easy to take down the Wayward Jet. That entry may have been a little bit ill-considered. However, Flippy makes sure the Flipsider finds their own peaks ill-considered. Teobertal tucks themselves up in the cubby. Will it be a plant on default? Teobertal's looking so good right now. Headshot after headshot is delivered, and corpse after corpse is collected. It's Jar around the back, and, well, Blaze knows all your tricks. We ain't allowing for these shenanigans today, son.
Well, we talk about at the start. How good is the info gather? That's it. Flipsider, he's able to get an opening without even revealing himself. So that's how good the info gather is for Boom. And it works beautifully. They get that man advantage. They force the entirety of South Built to go back through Garage to see where they're running into the awaiting and loving arms of Teobertal. A man who is actually usually quite high up on the scoreboard. Granted, last round Flipsider didn't leave many kills for him. But for Teobertal, he is a player to watch out for. His Astra can prove to be very, very deadly.
Foray up Suez here. by Berserks. But most of this aggression is actually going to be centralized on Garage. Already Aziz has made contact with this. Frostmind, what can they do with the Spectre? They have been pinged, so staying within that cyber cage is not in their best interest. Aziz is going to penetrate on out. It's not great aim here from Frostmind. They go straight into the aftershock. They're just shepherding the jet into danger. And that's going to be a massacre on the C site. Flawless. I don't even know how it happened, but the kill feed just filled with green, Crema.
As mentioned, it's that utility area, it's that info gather. Frostbite, he knows they're coming, which means flip side, he can set up with that aftershock to just do that extra bit of damage. Gets the man advantage. With the Cypher cages up as well, it means that Boom could just crossfire behind them. Once it drops, they run into crossfire like lambs to the slaughter. Both Tovotal and Frostmind tear into them. Another solid round from Boom, but Harry, crossfires like that only work against pistols. Now we have the full buy of South Built. This is where things become very worrisome for the members of Boom. Bear in mind that South Built have been very bloody accurate throughout this series.
Oh, look at Berserks here. They were having a full-on sprint up through sewers, and I wonder if it's going to be something that Berserks continues when they have access to an operator later on. In our round structure, Pro sends out the drone. Berserk's going to try their best to just stay hidden here. I'm going to take a ping off the back of it. And so drones will be exchanged, and the attacking tide once again moves the way of Garage.
Push going through Garage. Frostmind, he's got to be careful as Cam no longer sees this, but my god, his ears work. Harry, he knows this is coming.
He's not going to fall to the aftershock this time. Instead, it's going to be Frostmind who takes their life, and Tomodo here just penetrates out of their own smoke. They've got some real pace on them here, and this is already a little bit more messy than you would like if you are Southfield Esports. Papachulo is stunned in the corner, and while your rifle play might be clean, the concussion makes fools of us all. In a 1 versus 2 here, this is not what Pro wanted. They need to 1v2. There's no way you can drop this. This is supposed to be your buy round. It's against a bonus. It was Spectres across the board. You had every advantage. Flipsider in Blaze. They just poke out one side, then the other. To me, to you, to me, to you, and you're dead.
You talk about how it's a bit less clean than you'd want. I suppose winning it would be a bit more than what you'd want, right? In this case, Southfield, they now have to drop down to pistols. And everything you see here, you have to take with a pinch of salt. Southfield, they are a defensive team. They're a retake defensive team as well. This attacking side has been a hindrance to them throughout the tournament. If they're able to get, I would say, at least 4 rounds, maybe even less, to be honest, 4 rounds for them is enough to suddenly be able to turn it around when they move to their defense. Boom, knowing this, have to be so disciplined. It looks like they may even be setting up Frostmind for an attack off the back of getting the info there.
For now, just a touch of presence in mid. Sheriffs across the board. That's a humiliating round for Southport to lose, and that could be a little bit tilting. And again, I've got to point out that while this is the map pick of Southville, I don't think it's any coincidence that Boom decided to defend first here.
Boom. Just fighting the aggression here. They know the drone's coming. Frostmind, just able to avoid it for now. He's able to punish it at that.
Frostmind just runs under it. You go too high and I'll let you low. And now Jar easily caught. And Frostmind simply spectating from the camera up above, helping Flipsider with these duels. They know exactly where Pro is. They've reported that back. The Flipsider, do they feel like coming in to try and get the final execution? Maybe better to wait and see what you can catch on B.
I think he knows exactly what's coming. And look at the rotation of Flipsider. This communication, this info from Boom is so strong. This is a tall order for Southville, even with rifles here.
The blind should be prepared. That's 1 for Blaze. Can you get any more than this? It's going to be 2, 3. No, Papachulo will deny after the third. And Papachulo, hello there. Daddy's home, baby.
Oh.
They've got themselves a rifle. That's going to be 3 for Papachulo. He's a dangerous person to leave alone. But you got to deal with Frostmine now. And Frostmine's been so clean. They're the top fragger right now for Boom. Deservedly so. They'll rescue the round.
A very aptly put nice shot from Blaze there, because it was Papachulo. He shows that just because you're winning doesn't mean you've won yet. And with Boom able to get a bit of a power spike, 3 ults come online in the space of that round. Both both the Neural Theft, the Cosmic Divide, and the Hunter's Fury, mean that they're going to have very, very strong... And mentioned again, Harry, it's all about the info. That Neural Theft is going to give an instant B. That may even be used in unison with the Hunter's Fury to just get a man advantage. For South Built, the lockdown is there, but as mentioned, that Hunter's Fury, that counter-util is now getting very scary. The op on Berserks comes out, it's revealed, and over on A. What can it do?
Combined with Hunter's Fury here as well. Oh my goodness, this is a huge attempt to try and gain some information. And I believe it did hit Aziz. But now with the smoke cleared, Berserks, they aren't going to hear the drone before they see it. Do they double down here? They're forced to dash on away. The double dip. Berserks is staying in. And now they're going to be chased out by the dog. Punished for their audacity, but only a little bit of damage taken so far. Bruce is down. And Aziz. Oh, they don't want to peek into that again. No chance. Wait. Aziz. Do you think that it's workable? Do you think it's winnable, son? Berserk certainly seems to think so. They're not even holding from a different verticality right here. They send out the random shot. And now Aziz knows they're on the angle. Speed is their ally, but they're walking too slowly. And when you move slowly, that's when Berserk can build up his rage response. The next lines up, and the next will fall. Pin after pin is knocked down. Berserks are simply going bowling as they start to walk this line again. They'll hold down the scope and they'll take down Flippy. But Pro once more is trying to rescue this. It seems consistently, Kremer, like Self-Built Esports, they're built on the clutches of incredibly reliable players. But in the end, Frostmind always makes a fool of you.
I mean, there's only so much you can do, right, in a 1v5 particularly. We saw for Babachulo 2 kills, yes, economic damage. We see from Pro there, yeah, a couple of kills. It helps, but helps to what avail. And we saw this on Ascent, we're seeing it again now. Boom, because of their info gather, they absolutely ruin the Jets. Aziz, he's having such a hard time finding openings because every time he tries to push, they know where he's coming from. They keep him back, and like that, they're left at such an uncomfortable position. So for Boom, this is really a solid way to start your second map. Bear in mind, you've already got the comfort of that one map victory. This is you now fighting for the money.
What I'm looking for right now is when Berserks rotates to a different site. Because they are very much conditioned, South-Built, to believe Berserks is basically A only until later in the rounds.
This whole Frostmind once again. They're still trying to see here, but it's just not working, Harry.
Frostmind, oh, it's an easy headshot. The Neural Theft as well. Where y'all at, boys? I want to come party. I promise. I'm a bit of an animal. I'll share out the spores with the rest of your jar. It's not giving away any of these spores. They're all for me, mate. I don't share well with others. Papachulo's going to fall on down. And Blaze, as they enter, they've grabbed themselves a pair. When the dust clears on C, it's littered with corpses, and only Boom remain.
Smouldering corpses at that, because this is looking so damn effective. You need to remember, in this best of 5, after Haven, Boom moved to another favourite of theirs of mine. That's how worrisome this is for South-Built. For South-Built, Haven is a must-win. It's their instant go-to map. It's the one they really enjoy being on. It's what they've proven to enjoy being on. The fact that it's gone downhill is not where you want to be. With another attempt at C here, South-Built, they've got a massive ult advantage now. 4 ults to throw at this. I mean, is it enough? I mean, we've seen the defense be pretty solid up till now.
There's a very cheeky wire that this is going to have to deal with right here. They're trying their best to get away from all of this utility. A space is being made here by the Hunter's Fury, still in the corner. Tebodal might be an issue. They could get up on the platform if they decide to raise themselves up all above. While tagged, they catch a little bit of aggression, but Blaze is already doing their job and opening up a couple of angles. However, Aziz, they are getting proactive. They are moving on forward. They are going to find themselves a plant here on the side of South-Built. And it seems like an op save to me, even with 5k in the bank. Berserks doesn't want to give this away, knowing that, hey, Aziz would really like this op because they're pretty poor at the moment.
that they are. And I quite like the fact that Berserks is just backing off and saving. They have enough money to actually consider going for this. The fact that they don't is all preventative measures. They want to make sure that Aziz is continuing to be isolated. They want to continue limiting that Jet's effectiveness and forcing South Built to commit ults every time they want to get to a site. In that case, Pro, a very strong Hunter's Fury, and actually Pro, over on Ascent, sorry, his util usage was great. He constantly harassed Blaze and Berserk, so every time they try to push up through mid. In this case, he does so again now. The Recon Dart, accompanied by the Hunter's Fury, means that anyone to the back of C has their location known. And because they really bully Frostbite, it means that Papichulo is able to get to that flank and act as an extra safety net in case the attack doesn't go well.
Crema, we polled our Twitch and YouTube audiences in the chat. We asked, who do you think is going to be winning this match? 800 people responded, and only 5% of them believe in the Filipino supremacy. Boom certainly have a lot of fans and a lot of belief behind them, and looking at the scoreline, I'd say that there's some pretty intelligent Valorant fans right now. Berserks has finally made the rotation that I was waiting for, and potentially they can try and meet the aggression here as it moves in towards C. Still Aziz! What is this aim? They just built differently! They've managed to find 2 headshots already. No damage taken thus far. It's a flawless execution from Aziz. Thank you for C, mate. I'll be keeping it for myself. A reload is demanded. And so, surely they don't go this aggressive with nothing in the chamber. They have to move off of the verticality. And this could be a flawless round here for Southville.
Just what they need. For a moment, this looked like a very dominant game from Boom. If Southville weren't able to put their foot down and prevent it from being as such, then we could have seen a 3-0 finals. In this case, the fact that they're now being able to craft a few rounds together, the fact they're getting them consecutively as well, means they're putting a little bit of strain on Boom. They are still 4 rounds out, but they're getting there, and that's what matters here. With Blaze just hiding, cowering up in heaven with this Vandal. A reinvestment will come from Boom, but that money, it's not going to last forever, and there are still a good 5 rounds left of this half.
Well, look at the spread on the attack. I think it's the first time in Valorant I've seen a tactical sweep.
This genuinely is a full-on room clear, isn't it?
Yeah, that's some SWAT team stuff right there.
Yeah. Fortunately, they don't find him, so it's a fruitless SWAT team.
Didn't have time to complete the tactical sweep. Unlucky.
Yeah, dynamic entry would, of course, just leave us suffering at that point. For Boom and Flipsider, they had a solid start defending both Garage and then rotating to C. In this case, they've stagnated a little bit. They used that Rolling Thunder last round for Boom, and it just did not work. They were killed too quickly for it to have any effect. In this case, kind of using their utility now more preemptively rather than reactively, as they just probe for an advantage.
Berserks has returned to A. Operator in long this time, rather than in sewers. And here comes Bruce, baby. The Tasmanian Tiger. Not shooting it just yet, hoping that... Oh my goodness, this is actually on fire at the moment. 2 rounds in a row, they've been able to make their entries flawlessly, hitting the headshot they need to. And Papichulo's winning doors elsewhere. They were lurking on mid. That means that courtyard is now a dangerous crossing for anyone who tries to help out A site. As they come in, they expect someone else is here, and so they're going to wait for reinforcements. For the activation of these stars, Tiberto's finally managed to catch that lurker. And so the courtyard is once again free. Aziz drops down behind these boxes, and Blaze, they're able to find a couple of pinged members right now. Some nicely placed shock darts. That might actually take out Flippy, but no. Left with a little bit of help to try and work with. Up comes the Cosmic Divide. And that's in favor of the attackers. Cutting off both Heaven and Hell means that Aziz can play around this little corner here. And can maybe try and get a nice little swing, just like that. Tiberto never saw it coming. Blaze, they have to weigh up their options. Do I just dive into the breach? Do I brave whatever hell is beyond this? Crossmine will bring up the Cybercage to try and isolate themselves to door, and they'll find it right here. Flippy moving in next, but Jar emerges from the Cybercage. You think you can cage me? I'm an untamable beast, bro!
Indeed he is. A great round from South Bill, and now they're starting to make Boom sweat a bit. I like how Frostbite calls for the timeout here, because they need to sweat. They need to think for a moment. Oh, this half can't.
Oh no, not like this.
If this ends 6-6, South will close out the map. That's how important this defender's side is for Boom. A 6-6 isn't acceptable. We'll see. You know how Ascent looked close and then boom, on their defense just destroyed? That's exactly what we're going to see here, except the roles will be switched. For South Built, they're going to be starting to rub their hands together mischievously. Do you remember all that time they were trying to shut down Aziz? Yeah. Hasn't happened. He's now really looking strong. He's really looking confident. And these last couple of rounds particularly, and the 3 that have been won, he's been instrumental to their success. For Boom, this is where you need to get Berserks to step up big time.
Berserks needs to find something with that operator if they're going to buy it again. But guess what? Buying 3 operators in a row means that that's 6 rounds of economic padding that you built up is slowly beginning to fade away. This is going to be potentially the last op of the half for them, Kremer, down to 1.5k now. And the rest of their team aren't looking any better.
No, they're not. And at this point, another attempt to C. It's no longer an attempt, Harry. It's a decision. It's a decisive action because C is now working for them. Tebotul and Frostmind, they haven't really changed their setup either. I don't think they know how because, well, these rounds are starting to look so one-sided.
Yeah, not only has it been wins, it's been wins with over 3 people alive, flawless in some cases. Mid, an expedition is sent out in the form of a drone, but it's not going to see anybody for now. Such reserved positions on the part of Southbuilt. They're allowing the clock to run a little bit, allowing paranoia to begin to breed, but will Berserks get bored on this angle? Oh, Aziz does it again! No! No. You don't
Harry.
get to do that 3 times in a row. Aziz is an entry master. And now they've got the operator in their territory if they want to pick that up for later.
Looks like they're choosing to go against the op, and I like that. I mean, Aziz, he's proven to be pretty damn good with this Vandal. Why change?
I don't have any doubts in Aziz's Vandal right now. It's too strong, too smart. Look right now at Papachulo as well. They've been noted on C, and so there's no eager rotation to try and help out. On the other side, though, the Rolling Thunder, that's going to be nowhere near available. Instead, it's got to be some other manner of utility sent out by the breach to try and stop things. Here comes the Hunter's Fury right now. Going to attempt to stop the plant. The Pro's going to try and stick it anyway. The Aftershock going to remove Aziz from their cover. But you've moved me from my cover. You've moved me from my comfort zone. But you know what? Sometimes it's when I take a risk that I achieve the greatest things. Aziz delivers a headshot with no hesitation. And look at the economy for Boom right now. They might be forced to save. Papachola could find themselves too. Sepultal's down. Frostmind is here. Frostmind could be... Oh, Frostmind gets a lovely little timing there off the back of that utility. They'll find themselves a Vandal. And I think they're going to call this one quits as Predator. Or Blaze falls on.
He gets that Vandal and then just gets the hell out of Dodge. That's a well-placed camera as well, so yeah, he has a general idea of what's coming, and luckily he knows nothing's coming off the back of that. You've been struggling with Blaze, haven't you, in his name? Well, sorry.
Yeah, man. It's because he's got a B name at the beginning, and everyone else has got the B clan tag, so my brain just removes it.
We are very lucky that the players have been courteous enough to put a space between their team tag and their actual name.
Oh, yeah, that one really messes with me.
Yes, that one gets
clan
tough.
tags are not common in Overwatch. So.
No, they're not. So, thank you very much, guys, for making your clan readable. Trust me, it helps. So now, Boom and Tebotul, call to action once again. And I mean, here's the thing, Harry. Being called to action is where it suffers, and you've got to do this with a frenzy.
I'm watching Aziz. Nowhere in Western have one of these entries on my watching. All right, the concussion's not there. Aziz has got one. Can Aziz find 2 up on the platform? They see exactly where Berserks is, but Tebotul in the smoke with the frenzy. This is what dreams are made of, baby. Swap it over now to a Vandal. That's 1. That won't be anything more than this. Still, here comes frenzy number 2. Blaze! He's blazing fast, baby!
Oh,
Swaps
Harry.
over to a Vandal to finish off Jar.
2 perfect flashes as well from his breach. Flip sider, you need to wonder why the breach over the sky. That is exactly why. Those 2 flashes were perfect. We see Tebotul there on the Astra. He jumps up with the frenzy, sees 3 players, picks up the Vandal, and then shoots them. That's how good the flash was. He had time to make that thought process. Then that secondary one, it's all down to Blaze. All he has to do is just run through a smoke and kill players who don't even know he's coming. perfect position to be in. But once again, he won that off the back of a clean entry, and now he's feeling the confidence.
You're exactly right, Kremer. That was one of the best barrages of flashes I've ever seen in competitive Valorant. Every one of them got so much value. Oh, Berserk, Aziz, your time is over, mate, Scream. This is my zone now. Can they win again? No. Jar, the secondary duelist who happens to be playing Astra, takes the reins of the entry.
I think that was a bit of an overextension from Boom there, actually. I think they could have got that first kill and then just waited and or backed off. Instead, they try and double down. They actually run into the grav well to keep that man advantage, and then they get punched. In this case now, Frostbind, he is very alone on C. And he's got quite a defensive camera as well, so he's not going to know they're coming until it's fairly too late.
It's difficult to play a 3 versus 3 on Haven defense. You're always going to be outnumbered no matter where you are unless you stack a sight. Jar still alive, baby, and Jar refuses to lose. 1 versus 2 now. That's the first. Jar, could they finish off this half with an ace? Could they get the 7-5 that their team is so desperate for? Look towards the back. Flipsider has all the utility that they need. A pair of flashpoints, an aftershock, and a fault line as well. But with 20 seconds remaining, Jar, they're a little bit reticent. They're a little bit cautious about attempting this plant. The Cosmic Divide will be invested to split C-Site in 2. They see where Flipsider is, but Flipsider is just too fast. And it's their clutch that will bring Boom a workable half.
Flashes, breakpoints, aftershocks, it doesn't matter. Flipsider, all he needed was the business end of a Phantom. A wonderful half from Boom to go 8-4 up, but Harry, as we said about 2 rounds in, Southport only need 4. That's how good their defense is. So, unless Boom are able to take this pistol and then really start to put some space between them and their counterparts, this is still anyone's game. And for Southport, I actually fully expect them to come back and win this.
It's not an unreasonable expectation. Watch as Boom make us look stupid, Kremer, and just dominate on the attack. That'd be something else, but it would be somewhat unprecedented, considering that while Boom have had a fantastic playoffs, they have rarely opted into Haven. Very much more of a territory, of a comfort zone of South built.
Starting to come out.
Very aggressive. Papachulo's already been concussed. They're coming in from 2 separate angles here. Papachulo is going to be pinged, and Jar's already been lost. Papachulo's all alone. Can we get anything done right here? Moving straight in towards them. Was Berserk will be punished for their audacity. Still, the Frenzy is able to win out of that range because you were busy reloading, my friend. And now Pro with a Ghost and a Dream versus 3.
This is going to be a tall order for him. Bear in mind, he has had a very shaky game up until this point. Only 4 kills to his name. He'd almost have to double them in order to win this round. He's running into a very, very expectant Flipsider.
Well, they know where 1 is. They know where 2 are. They saw the origin point of that. Oh, can they do it? Oh, the fire rate's just too slow while concussed. Blaze ducks under the incoming attempts at headshots. Like, don't worry, mate. I'm going to think small. Almost as small as your round count.
9-4 now, and suddenly things actually look a bit scary for Southville. They're against the full buy of, well, I say full buy, the anti-eco of Spectres. There's the odd Ghost in there. They changed it out. Spectres around the board. Everyone gets a Spectre, Harry. It's a uniform buy from Boom.
You get a Spectre. You get a Spectre.
Everyone gets a Spectre. Southville, a couple of pistols. As is with this Sheriff, might be able to get a bit of confidence off the back of it, which is what you really need to watch out for.
You know, if there's anyone who could believe in their aim right now, it's definitely Aziz, and looks like we're going to try and proactively rotate here to A to try and catch this aggression. Maybe find people as they're checking corners where they are not going to be posted already. The aftershock has come out. It's very much a confirmed push here. Someone's made their way into the back. It's going to be Berserk who does so, but here comes Aziz, baby! Aziz with the Sheriff in hand. When Sabodal sees this fall, they manage to creep around Aziz, and they get the drop on him. Here comes the entry here from Jar. Classic in hand. They're looking towards the spike, but you should be looking towards the right. Sabodal finishes it off, and Boom, while it isn't the full bonus they would like, at least it's another round.
That it is, and I am really impressed with what this is there. For a moment, that looks very, very harrowing to be able to almost turn around a full eco off the back of a single Sheriff. Boom, a lot of casualties sustained, and because of that, their buy, it's that's certainly not as good as they'd like for it to be. Berserks has that hero phantom, so that has to do all the mileage now against the full buy, the onslaught incoming of South Built.
No pings gained here for South Built. They may well have heard this aggression coming. Look at the speed of this Kremmer. They're just leading the way. Berserks gets one. Berserks can't find the second, though. Now it's down to Aziz to try and stop this aggression. They found themselves two. But flip side, he just walks on in with a Spectre and guns them down. Rat-a-tat-tat.
Blaze now has a great flank as well. For both sorts, it's just a matter of can he read it in time.
Apertulo might be the one to make a difference. But Flippy as well. Oh, they might not expect Flippy. Flippy could actually get 2 for free here. I think he'll be watching this angle. They take the swing. That's one. Oh, it won't be the second, though. Tay Birdle keeps their cool and gets it done. And now Blaze is wrapping around the back while you're worrying about Tay Birdle. Have you thought about the Blaze? Let me introduce you to my Lord and Savior, the big old fire. Boom, turn it up to 11.
That notch dial is being yanked by Boom right now. You want 11, they're going to take us to 111 with a great round so far, making it 11-4. Blaze and Tebotol going 19 and 17 kills apiece. It was Flipsider and Berserks on Ascent. Now Tebotol and Blaze showing that actually we can also deal out the pain in this case. With South Built, the only thing going in their favour now is they're the sole owners of an ult, which is Aziz. We've seen how good he can be with these knives. We're going to see a bit of a power spike from Tebotal as well as he gets the Cosmic Divide this round alongside Flipsider with that Rolling Thunder. But for Papachuolo, it's a Sheriff, no ult, no utility, and no hope.
We said how good South Built Esports are about their retakes, but it's all been frags all the way. Papachuolo hits themselves a headshot. This could be an opening that's been looked for, been begged for thus far by South Built and their fans. For the Filipino side, this has been a rough day so far. Aziz on the back gets one headshot. Does anyone else dare challenge my hegemony? My dominance of this back site. Going up top now. Frostmind. Do they feel brave enough to peek it? Yes, they do. And they rewarded for their audacity. But this has given Seasight away in terms of practical control. Frostmind going to try and take themselves a peek here. The fuse is held. And, well, they've just been ecoed.
Who?
Papachuolo got 3 on the back as well. Huh?
What?
Huh? What? Huh?
They just defuse it. I suppose that's a simple way to get rid of a spike. Just sit there and defuse. I'm surprised we haven't
just
considered that.
defused, dummy. What are you, bad?
Yeah, I'm surprised we hadn't considered that before because.
Why didn't I think of this tactic previously?
Now you say it aloud, it makes so much sense. Boom, they have a massive ult advantage here. Blaze and Berserk's going to get theirs up this round as well. Pro, one away for the Heartless Fury. There is a retake, at least a retake lockdown available. But look at the aggression once again. Blaze instantly dropping that shield makes me think Berserk's ready to dive in here.
Papachuolo, they're feeling confident off the back of this. Already these doors have lost their armor. But that gravity well doesn't find anyone in the re-entry. Papachuolo has to give it away. They know that they can't beat the amount of utility that's going to be heading their way. Here comes the Rolling Thunder. Papachuolo will avoid it right now. They're going to be the counter to the aggression, and Berserk's already caught out. Flipside is going to force their hand by using the aftershock, and spamming into that smoke is more than enough to remove the great big daddy of Filipino FPS. Jar tucks themselves now behind this area, believing themselves safe and undiscovered. And it seems that that's going to be the case. They'll get an easy one here onto Blaze. Can they find yet another? Flipside has already done some damage. A fault line is used into the astral form. Flippy's the one who picks up the slack. Don't worry, Jar. You don't have to do it all alone. I've got you. And Jar will be able to get themselves a defuse.
6 rounds for South Built now, and I tell you, Harry, I promise you, they can make this difference look very small very quickly. 2 rounds on the bounce, more importantly, they do it while shutting down both the Rolling Thunder and the Cosmic Divide there. A bit of a mistake on Boom to not fully clear backside, giving Jar a lot of space to work with, a lot of space to hold when that retake gets sprung. And with what is an ult advantage, that's going to be mitigated when Jar gets his ult up straight after this round. And unfortunately, with a shaky buy, Boom, they're going to stagnate significantly.
Remember, this feels like the first time that Boom have had to take an eco. I mean, I'm sure there's been 1 or 2, but it certainly does feel that way. And Aziz here, Gonna have to try and avoid the Hunter Spirit. Seems like most people will be able to. Oh, actually with the last one, as his does get pinged. As first, it didn't use the updraft there. Apachulo's already got themselves 2. Oh my goodness, that was a jump scare for me, and I've got the mini-map. Berserk's made it into 2. What are you doing with this Blade Storm, son? That's to spurt away the blades for a second to break down those cabbages. And you know what? This could be a plant on C. Berserk's is just playing bodyguard right now, making sure that no one can come in here, interrupt the plant. As is, they could lose their operator if they're not too careful. Berserk's is on fire with these, and I don't know what pace they had that allowed them to get in behind Papachulo and Jar, but they were incredibly unexpected. I didn't even recognize it, Kremer.
Comes all as a Frostbite Sheriff in hand. He realizes there's a player coming from the flank.
Oh, that's
a bad time to whiff.
That's a bad whiff right there, Kremer. Can they make up for it? I'm afraid the answer's gonna be no. Self-built will convert against the Eco, but they probably shouldn't have been that surprised by Berserk. There's a gap in the defense somewhere, and that needs to be patched.
I quite like how Berserk is able to find a gap that quickly as well. He just moves straight in and he punishes it so quickly. If he doesn't whiff on the swing from Flippy, that could become a boom round off the back of an eco. And we'll see how SBE like it when it's done to them. In this case though, a full buy comes out from Boom. They have used a lot of ults out. They're now at ult disadvantage. They have the Neural Theft, but that's going to be nothing comparative to Papachulo and Ya, who both have their retake ults available. The op on Aziz as well is going to be the main playmaker for South Built here, with him aggressing over in A-Long.
This setup here from Flipsider, what are you looking for at the moment? Out comes a fault line, and maybe that's onto Papachulo. Indeed it is. They're going to be cut off here by a Cloudburst, and so, once again, they will surrender the ground. But they are careful to watch this crossing now, out of Garage, because last time, that's what hoisted them. Look at Aziz. Oh, they can find plenty here, but no. Great usage of a drone, making sure that they aren't going to be free frags for Aziz. You're going to have to work for them. That much is for certain. But will Berserks make this work worthwhile?
Fascists just keep Aziz back for now, as Blaze is going to have a crack at peeking into mid. Papachulo's the man to worry about, but Papachulo, with Timmy there, he's a big boy. He can be left alone. He can be left unguarded for a bit.
Timmy's dead. Timmy's dead, Kremer.
Oh, no.
Flippy now. Might be able to get something, but no. Blaze wins yet another gunfight. This has been a great rifle map here for Blaze. A retake ultimate comes on out, but that isn't too much of an issue, Kremer. They wanted to play from back here, the Cosmic Divide. That's going to make things a touch more complicated. Watch out for Blaze. They can try their best here to stop this, but Pro, they're going to complicate matters. Winning that duel was so important. Papachulo's already got themselves a half. They're bought low. Blaze has now found their third. Jar's going to try and make it work. Jar's down as well. Can Blaze do it all by themselves? The last member of Boom remaining after a rebuild won't be getting the ace. And Tabodal, I'm afraid you're probably going to get kicked for that.
Match point for Blaze now. I say for Blaze, for Boom. Blaze himself has brought us there, and at 12-7, sure, South Built, they've been making the inklings of a comeback. Three on the bounce. They've used a lot of ults here, so it is all down to rifle play. Buying down to 0 on Flippy, and Aziz means that you really are going to have to hope this round. Even if you win it, it has to be done clean, just so you have that investment next round. For Boom, I think they're going to take a moment to breathe. They take a deep breath and relax a little bit, knowing full well that they may have found a way to topple the South of Esports defense.
The speed and aggression of Berserks kowtows for a moment.
Tabosal? Didn't realize.
Cool. I wasn't planning on playing this round anyway. Who knows?
No, this game isn't close enough. Make it more challenging, damn it.
I was promised a challenge.
Well, you're just a panda.
Finally. A worthy opponent.
Over in mid. Be prepared this as well. And hey, it worked on B last time, but Pro's here.
Pro's going to see the rifle here. Pro's going to see the rifle from Berserks. Oh, that's a little bit of a whiff. That's a bad miss, Kremer. That's a full blind. Pro is punished for it, but Papachulo, once again, Daddy's back in the building, and he is not happy. Blaze is by himself. 1 versus 4 is simply untenable, as Jar puts one in the side of the head. And the Philippines ain't dead yet.
Holding on by their fingernails. Bear in mind that this is the best of 5. So, being able to... just having the comfort of the fact that you don't have to reverse sweep a best of 5. Bear in mind, that's when stamina really comes into this. But as we don't have too much of a break between these series. Yeah, it goes... we have 5 minutes, if that. Trying to untilt in that time, trying to rest in that time, can be nigh on impossible.
Luckily, both these teams are currently at boot camp / in gaming houses, so they can rely on the physical presence of each other to try and keep them in check. That's a lot of pings on A. Yeah, Papachulo's got his sprint on. The Nikes. This counter wrap right here. Isolated right now. Could be multiple players, but remember... oh my... they're winning off the back of an eco! That is a couple of looted rifles, and suddenly this is winnable off the back of frenzies and specters.
We've got rolling thunder as well.
This would be tragic. And you know that Flipsider in his mind... there comes the Rolling Thunder jar. It's going to be an easy takeout, even with a frenzy. I'll grab that rifle later, mates. 2 players remain on South Built's pick. This was supposed to be their comfort map. This was supposed to be their big boy presence. The second they peek on out, instant concussion. Time is dripping away. They need to move fast, but they keep on getting suppressed. This is Boom's moment. They've already taken out one. Papachulo is unable to do it by themselves. And with frenzies, grit, and determination, Boom put themselves onto match point.
They propel themselves to not only match point, but series point. Haven was meant to be the South Built comeback, but Blaze, but Tibotal, but Frostmind all go, actually, this is exactly where we choose to close it out. Berserks, as mentioned, we see the Jets get shut down, but with Boom, the Jets isn't your problem. It isn't your worry. They aren't the ones who you need to fear. It's everyone else alongside Berserks. We're going to go to a quick 5-10 minute break. When we return, South Built Esports, this has now become a battle for survival.
Fill me out with your smile, like the sunshine brings the light. Fill me out with a flame, I will let you in this game. Take me out when I'm down, 'cause with you I'm safe and sound. 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 Bring that beat back.
lose ourselves in the spirit of things. We lose our sight when we put our trust in things of this material world, of things that fade away. Let me keep coming back, 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 keep coming back. Of things we know.
Harry, I hate to be the gloomer, I hate to be the doomer, and unfortunately, luckily I'm not a
We
boomer.
have boomers, zoomers, and now finally Crema is the gloomer.
The gloomer, I'm definitely here as a gloomer, and that being, last time we saw Boom play on Bind, it was in that infamous match against Bren, where they won 13-1.
That was the most dominant map of the entire tournament,
Yeah.
Crema.
It was. South Built, they struggled to beat Beast on Bind last time they played.
That doesn't make me feel good.
That does not make me feel good either. South Built are currently 2-0 down in map score.
Select your agent.
Well, we always have hope. $10,000, Crema, the prize pool for the Royal Southeast Asia Challenge, brought to you by the wonderful people over at Epulze and South Built Esports. They are on the cusp. They are dangling on the edge. They are teetering on a tightrope of crashing out in second place. Boom. They have their boots on the backs of their Filipino adversaries.
That they do. Now, for Boom, this is a confidence map. Yeah, last time we played it, they ruined Bren in a matchup that should have been close. Hey, this matchup should have been close, but Boom sit atop a 2-0 kind of laurel right now, with South Built having to really deliver. We have disconnected from Jar, so hopefully once the technical timeout ends, we'll be able to go straight into this map. We look at the hero composition. I quite like the Viper on Papichulo. However, we're not seeing a Viper at all on Boom. Here's what's interesting with Boom, which is they bring out the Breach and they take the Sova. The Sova of Frostbind has been very good for info gather, and when you run this double duelist, it means that you can actually just go for info, second someone's ping backside, you jump on them. And we see that very commonly on B around backside, so I quite like the idea of what Boom are doing. My worry is that their defensive side may be a bit lacking when it comes to smokes past the Astra, when it comes to obscuring vision, when it comes to just delaying in general. I feel like they are in danger of running out of utility very quickly on their defense.
Well, Crema, we interviewed Boom after about 13-1, and we were like, will you guys have a little bit of fun trolling a little bit with your picks? Because Blaze isn't the controller.
Exactly.
Blaze is for Sova. Frostbind's playing Sova. What's Tay Birdle doing over here on the Rays? This ain't right. And they told us that, hey, we were kind of bad at Bind, so we decided to swap things up. And it worked a lot in scrims. And it appears to be working very well because they humiliated Bren. Flipsider definitely moving away from the Rays and onto these initiators has been a huge boon for Boom. But whether it's on the KO or on the Breach, or I assume eventually on the Sky if we go to a map like Breeze, but I don't know if that's even in our pool. One sec, let me bring up our draft. No, that was actually the first ban from Boom, go figure.
What I quite like from Boom is, we said this earlier, which is Boom at the very start of the tournament picked Fracture once. Ever since then, every team against them's just been banning Fracture. That's happened here, where South Built realised we don't play Fracture, we didn't think anyone played Fracture, why are Boom picking, we got to ban Fracture. Like that, South Built, they lose their insta-ban. And what's happened is Boom, they pick their comfort map Ascent first. South Built, they respond with their comfort map of Haven. Now Boom, they go for the they go for the counter pick, which is Bind, the map which South Built don't play. The tactics of this veto mean that this, rather than map 1 or 2, is meant to be the most one-sided map there is. That worries me, Harry. That worries me quite a lot.
Does it worry the Filipino fans at home, or will they remain audacious and defiant? Berserk's moving on forward. Frenzy versus Frenzy. Aziz gets a collateral with a ghost. There's no need for worries, Kremer. South Built thus far are doing just fine. A flawless on the pistol round, and this is the kind of confidence they need to say, hey, we aren't dead.
Harry, they don't need me. My analytical skills go out the window. These guys,
You're fired, Kremer.
These guys have got it under lock. Really strong fist around. And that's the way to recover having lost your mandate. You want it to be one-sided. You want it to start going in your favor, just so you can convince yourselves, okay.
Roll in, punch him in the face.
Yeah, exactly. You can sort of convince yourself that, okay, we'll be all right. For Boom, classics come out around the board. They didn't even kill on that pistol round, so there's no kind of, I could get a sheriff, I did kill a few people. No, they didn't gain anything there. So it's classics around the board. A kill here would be great, maybe 2, but this is going to be the conversion for South Built unless something goes drastically wrong.
The Birdle. I think they took a little bit of damage, maybe, but they appear to have been... Oh, no, they must have fell apart from my perspective, but the other thing that's fell apart is this execution on B, and guess what? You've hand-delivered the spike to Jar, and now only your lurk remains. It was actually Flippy who took a huge amount of damage. Frostmine with a classic, and maybe the element of surprise, but this is being pre-aimed by Pro, so you can assume that it's going to be fairly clean. And it is.
That it is. Only one player even takes damage that round from South Built. That's as clean as it gets. A full investment note from Boom, and something that does play against South Built is because no one died. No one can sort of justify going for a bigger gun. What we saw Boom do is they ended up taking the Phantom on Berserks with everyone else playing the bonus, meaning that when Berserks pushed and when Berserks was able to take the 1vX's, he actually ended up doing a lot of damage. And it meant, I think they even actually won what would have been their bonus, because Southwick just didn't expect the range game to be played against them. As is, he's now going to do just that. I like the fact they're bringing out that extra rifle as a just in case. But now though, aggression in B long is going to secure the ult orb. At least momentarily, they're not going to be able to achieve it though.
Flippy and Jar once again. Oh my goodness, Flippy's already dead. Do they check for Jar right here? They will indeed. Berserks on the entry is so damn clean, Kremer. And Aziz, they've already taken a huge amount of damage. And with this Vandal in hand, maybe they're just going to have to bow, bend the knee and be like, okay, this is yours. You can have it. That's fine. I'm scared. Hold me.
This is like when, you know in movies when someone sort of punches the big guy and he just doesn't flex, he doesn't flinch.
And he just stares back at them like,
that was Boom in these last 2 rounds. Now that they have a bye, they kind of roll up the sleeves and go, this is how you do it. You think that's good? Let's see you defend B.
Flip side, I could get an easy double here. Oh, that's one. No, they're going to be traded out. That's a good start. At this range, surely Blaze wins this. Yes, they do. Down goes Pro, but that's fine. They weren't looking to save those Spectres anyway. As is, they took a risk. Oh no, they hear the teleporters approach. It's okay. They'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Somebody tells me their heart may have pounded a bit harder there, but
a little bit of wee may have come out.
Yeah, it was a squeaky bum time.
This is why I wear the brown pants.
Yes, Boom. This full investment is going to be rewarded now. With Flipside, unfortunately, he is going to have to buy to relatively low money. In fact, he'll be dropped by Frostmine. How very public-spirited of him. South Built move into their full investment. Rifles around the board. Both teams, their finances, they're not in great check. But Boom, because of how flawless that last round was, they're going to be in a little bit of a stronger position here.
As is again trying to play from a high ground. Papachulo here has to back away from a gravity well. And so for now, it's fairly conservative positioning from a defense, as control of Assault Orb will be ascertained by both Berserks and Frostmind.
With the ult orb secured, he can go straight to the Sova, an extra step for that Hunter's Fury.
It's interesting that South Built don't seem to be putting any stock in really controlling Hookah at the moment, and so this is a fairly easy claim from Tape Odal.
Yeah, Southfield are losing a lot of map control. First in Showers, now in Hookah. They're allowing Boom to get right up into their face here.
Papachulo down to 36, and they are going to be taken out right there. This is going to be difficult on A side. What can Pro do? All by themselves, up against multiple opponents. 5, in fact, are on this side. When the smoke drops, they can't even get Frostmind. Oh, Crema. A familiar falling apart here for Southfield. Every gun duel was lost, and Papachulo was punished for their audacious positioning outside of Showers. And it feels like Southfield are very much waiting for the offense to come to them. Flippy's going to try their luck at clearing U-Haul here. That's going to be one. Tabertle done. May force some doubling back. But Flippy, they're the one who turns on their own heel. They cut the noise. Out goes the flash. Flipsider flips on their own heel and puts down Flippy. That's a lot of flipping.
That is a lot of flipping, and as the turntables turn, we have Flipsider with that Rolling Thunder available. That is going to massively help assault one of these sites. Bear in mind that Flippy just one away from the Seekers means that the assault management is coming online kind of simultaneously with Southfield. They haven't found much of an advantage here over on Boom. But with these rounds being clean, they are gaining momentum, which is what matters now. And against the Sheriffs of Southfield, this is where Boom can be fairly happy with themselves.
I mean, in terms of frags, Boom are kind of like... They're not out-fragging, necessarily, just when they have rifles in their hands. These entries become so much easier. Jar waits just outside of Fukia. There they... Oh, they just looked the wrong way on the 50-50. That makes things much more painful. Flippy's already down to only a sliver of health. And they can't heal themselves. They need to get a headshot here with the Sheriff, or it's all over. However, they're likely to be smoked on off. And they just get a whiff of Flippy before the smoke comes up. And Papachulo just has to stare at us. He's dying. That's a flawless round, Crema. Oh my goodness. Boom have once again found their mojo.
Oh, Harry, it could be happening. And what I quite like, actually, is the confidence in Tabertle. Bear in mind, he isn't he isn't usually on the duel list. In fact, the only time he is on a duel list is when he plays Raze. And the confidence he has is just incredible. The way he's able to just blast direct line, beelines to an opponent to fight them. That takes balls. And in this case, he's rewarded with a great headshot. Aziz now, first op of the game. This has to get some mileage. Otherwise, Southfield are going to be ruined economically.
The mileage we're looking to find is going to be on A main. Frostmind sends out for drone in their stead. And so this angle has to be given on over. Tabertle. Oh my goodness, Flipsider. Taken out by the aftershock. But the audacity given over. A direct hit on the grenade, but I'm afraid you're going to need more than a direct hit to take out Pro, who now is going to walk into Berserk. Aziz has found 2 elsewhere. Pro decided to bring out the utility in a close gun battle. I don't think I agree with that.
Berserk's in a 1v3 with only 7 HP. I don't quite see this being 1, Harry.
That's plenty. That's like 2 each. And then you're still left with 1.
You're right. He wins this 1v3. I don't know why Southfield are even trying to play this.
Just surrender now.
But yeah, a bit of damage would be perfect here. And that's a clean dink.
And a good dink. But they just spam fire onto the spike. You're like, you know what? If you're going to try and grab that, we'll grab you.
Yeah, absolutely right. And for Southfield, at least buying that op is rewarded. It is that revelation of the op, though, is going to sort of say to Boom that the gauntlet's thrown down, that Southfield really have invested heavy into making sure they get this early dominance. For Boom, out comes another reinvestment on the rifles, but it's the ults you need to watch out for. Frostmind 1 away from the Hunter's Fury. Aziz about to bring the knives out. Jar 2 away from his device, similar to Blaze here, but the advantage is still in Boom, just by 1 though.
Aziz here. What can they achieve on this first peak? The drone's going to be the first one to come out. And once again, Aziz holding this alone means that there's no one to cover them here. The Rolling Thunder racks on through B site. And now this needs to be accompanied with some speed. Berserk's already found one. There's a shorty right into their back. Tabertle at least manages to clear away the op wielder. They made so much space in so little time, and now they await these rotations coming in. Are you cavalry to try and rescue this site? I know of your proficiency with retakes, and I refuse to allow it. Surely the smoke will drop in but a second. Pro is going to be a free kill. And Boom easily retake the initiative.
It's a big investment, though. It's a bloody big investment. There's both the Rolling Thunder that's set in, the Knives on Berserks, and that Showstopper, meaning that you're left with a single Hunter's Fury to combat what is going to be 3 ults readily available for South Built. You really need your gunplay to do the talking in this round. Luckily for you, you might have a bit of space to bring that Cosmic Divide on Blaze because you are against Sheriffs. But as Papachuolo's been able to show on multiple maps now, Sheriffs still have the power to bite.
Well, here comes the Blade Stormers is. That's some good movement, but the only movement that I'm concerned with is the gentle floating of your corpse to the ground as delivered by Blaze. Already 2 members of South Built have been disassembled, and Jar is now beginning to feel the pressure mount upon them. They could play inside this smoke. They see exactly where the rifle is, but they can't hit the head. And Tebodal is easily able to do so. Once again, B-site is going to be very safely secured, and Papachuolo and Pro, they've got to try and find a way to utilize the element of surprise to get an early frag. Hopium.
Yeah, a little bit of hopium there, Harry. I noticed that little huff you took before we started, but yes, these Sheriffs prepare a slow exodus. Maybe a few exits would be great. Better still, getting a kill and then saving a rifle would be perfect for them. As Papachuolo aggresses into Frostbind.
This is going to be an unfortunate crossfire for Papachuolo. Oh no, that's a good dodge, but I think they're spotted here. And now everyone lines up. Mine! And it's going to be Tebodal who claims it. But Frostbind loses their life along the way. This is at least an upgrade on the sidearm for many members of Boom. And South Built can return to the promised land of rifles and dreams. Except, of course, for Flippy. I'm not sure how their economy ended up this low, to be honest.
It's been troublesome for South Built because they haven't been able to string rounds together. They're in that brutal cycle of buy, lose, eco, and because of that, Boom have been able to put a bit of distance between them and South Built. It's still early days in the half, but at 5-3, with Frostbind still having not expended that Hunter's Fury, I think he's hoping to try and use it to counteract the Viper's Pits, which has really not seen any mileage from Papachuolo this game.
Nothing gained off the Hunter's Fury. And once again, it feels like Hookah might be a pain point here, but Aziz, they've changed up their positioning. They're like, okay, if we're not going to hold it that way, we'll hold it long range, playing from on top of the tube, hoping to connect themselves a body shot if Tebodal dares. Dare you enter my territory? They're so close, Cremor. That's a good... Oh, that's an excellent entry. Aziz suspects it, though. They start to go for a slightly wider angle. But... Well, Tebodal's got everyone's attention over here. A-site has become a little bit swarmed. In comes a concussion. Papachuolo's going to have a lot of trouble trying to play around here now. Pro's going to have to defend their friend, but they're blinded for the entirety of this. Ping once again. Berserks gets them both! What an excellent lineup now. And Berserks, they could try and stop the entry of anyone else who dares to come into A-site. Boom. They've been a different beast during this tournament. And Jar might have grabbed a first frag right here. They're likely going to be outflanked here by Tebodal. The timing's just good enough for Jar to survive a second longer. But still they have to worry about Tebodal. And that's an easy frag for them. Playing up from the top as is here with the operator. Can they connect with anybody? Remember, time's not on their side. Frostmine moves into their sights. But they've lost out on Flippy. 1 versus 3 there. Boy, for concussion, that's going to be 2. Aziz, can you make it into 3? They see where Tebodal is, but they have to duck away because they aren't able to scope in at this range. The rifling isn't there. And despite losing 3 more than potentially it could have been, Boom will be able to convert yet another round.
Another incredible performance from Boom there, and it's just off the back of being able to trade one another. They are inking closer and closer to victory here, Harry. 6-3 the scoreline. You need to remember, Boom are a defensive team. They prefer their defense, as do South Built. The fact that it is looking so one-sided on the opposite sides is really, really worrisome. For Boom, in this case, while they are a defensive team, their agent kit selection does favor their attack ever so slightly, but that's when the breach comes into light on the defense, when those flashes can really be used for some microaggression from your double duelist hit squad.
It's an eco Cremor. And we have crossed the ties in favor of Filipino sheriffs many times before. They haven't really been forthcoming today. Potentially a good shot here onto Tobodal. Could open this up. Remember, every single kill could be a lootable rifle. Could be an economic turnaround. Even up the armaments and make the armories a little bit more comparable. Papachulo, as they walk on forward here, they could get themselves a drop onto Blaze. If you can get rid of that Astra. No smokes. No smokes! No smokes. Papachulo has to walk away. That's two. They've only got one bullet left in the chamber. They're going to have to expend it. They die at the hands of Tebodo, but they've already done their job, Kremer. And now rushing onto the site. They need to clear out U-Haul here. It is going to be filled up by Tebodo. Aziz misses on the first, and Flipside gives a little bit of cover for the second. The spike itself, though. Oh, it's a double pump. They've taken Pro away from here. And Flippy, they've managed to loot themselves a Vandal. They might find Flipsider by surprise. The pre-aim is good. The shot is no good, though. Flipsider, the Pika's advantage comes to the forefront. And Pro has no access to any dropped rifles. If they're going to make this a win, it's going to be off Sheriffs alone. The Rolling Thunder given over solo. The blind is good. And the reload is there. Yet another concussion. Pro can barely even contemplate what's going on right now. And this has given time for positions to change up. Intel has become outdated. And you can see that Flipsider, they've wrapped all the way around the back. And that means all of this area has to be cleared by Pro. And they're not looking in the right direction when Tobodal takes their swing. What a round. What a map so far from Tobodal.
It's been a great map from Tobodal, but Harry, to be a little bit strict, it shouldn't have been that close. It really shouldn't have been, considering South Built only had a couple of sheriffs here or there, a scatterment of pistols, which were able to cause a myriad of problems for Boom. With the ult advantage in favour of South Built, you need to keep in mind Berserks is just one away from getting his knives up, and because on Boom, a lot of their ults that are available are duelist ults. They're not quite kind of map-altering ults that you see, for instance, the Viper, for instance, the Cosmic Divide. So it really is going to be interesting to see how they're expended. Frostbite gets harassed a little bit outside showers.
Here comes the showstopper in the hands of Tebodal. It goes straight into Papachulo. They couldn't get behind the Cosmic Divide in time. Pro thinks that it's time to use that Rolling Thunder to facilitate a retake. They move on up. That's one. Only one tap needed, but Blaze stops them in their tracks. Aziz with 3 HP remaining, an Operator in hand. It might be too risky to try this out. Jar, they've been quiet this game, Kremer. They need to come alive, but they might be outflanked by Flipside. That's a great start. Can they get the second? 1 versus 1. Astra versus Astra. Cosmic Queen versus Cosmic Queen. But for now, Jar's just going to put time, and then they'll emerge at the correct moment to take down Blaze.
You mentioned he's had a very, very quiet game, but now he's able to deliver. What's a performance from Jar there to just give us that extra oomph. However, 7-4, Harry. Has the damage already been done? Particularly if we see another 8-4.
Another 8-4 would be heartbreaking for all the Filipino fans, but those who support Indonesia's super team, aptly generated by Coach Meow, will be emboldened in their pride and in their glory. That's a lovely adjustment. Blaze is down, and now how do you take one of these sites without the smokes? Without the gravity wells, for Nova pulses. A huge amount of utility lies wrecked and dead on the floor.
Look at the knives available for Berserks. Just hoping for an opening. Reveals himself, and now look at the rotation of Aziz. He's looking for a kill. He's hunting for it, and he's happy to fight.
Berserks goes up top. They won't be able to check for Flippy easily here. They move on in. They go for Flippy, but Flippy is prepared. Both the duelists are dead. I'm the real duelist. Haven't you heard of Sky? Interesting that Flippy, as they move away from that concussion, actually goes for a reload. And this could be a flawless round here. Although it'll be a little bit too late, Kremer. Sure, this would have been great for your economy in any other round, but it's the end of a half. But dub's all that matters in the end.
Wonderful recovery from Southville, actually, to be able to just get those final two at the end of the half. It's like a little spit at Boom to show that actually we're still kicking, we're still holding in there. As Boom, bear in mind they're on their defense, their favoured side, and they do so with a very default-looking pistol round. There's that Sheriff on Berserk, a lot of upgraded pistols, actually, for Boom moving into it, but we've seen how good their aim's been, especially on Tebotal and Berserks. It doesn't surprise me. What's going to matter here is how South Built choose to assault B.
Looks like it's going to be the Pavlovian wall set up here by Papachulo. Try and condition them to believe that this wall means the A lurk is present as is. Opens up as they mean to go on. A headshot with the Sheriff and a doomed Berserks.
Now a man down. Boom, look how passive they're playing on B with Frostmine just shouldering by elbow. There's Flipsider by this cubby on the side of sight, hoping that maybe Aziz swings into it. He'll be rewarded, but not in the way he wants.
Aziz backs away. Frostmine on that swing is unable to find their man. A quick shock dart. Won't be getting any damage here. The blind is good, but the move away is silent. Tebotal on the backside, though. They forayed up market. They grabbed their kill and they're off, mate. Letting you worry about where they may be lurking next.
For Boom, this is now going to be a tough hold. With Flipside and Frostmine, they're in a crossfire, but their locations are known.
Aziz knows. Aziz had an inkling of where they were, but Frostmine still wins that duel. Jar now trying to check on the flank. Tebotal is up against them. That's a beautiful headshot delivered. Blaze all by themselves now in a 1 versus 2, but in a pistol round. This is when it's at its most doable. Pro, though, lives up to their name, not breaking under the pressure. However, no spike plant means that this is going to be a bit of a weaker buy.
That it is, and all of a sudden, South Built, they're actually fighting for not only an equalizer, but potentially the lead here, Harry. For Boom, who were dominant for a very long time in that first half, all of a sudden, things could actually fall back to normality. Is there a world where we see South Built actually upset this and take bind?
God, I hope so, Kremer.
Likewise.
I'm not biased. I just want a big grand final.
I don't want to see a 3-0. You're right.
Berserks, look at the audacity here to move straight out. And as this is going to punish that, Papachulo's not allowing for the same shenanigans to happen on A as well. They don't want it to give away any market control. They could get themselves a timing here on both Tebotal and onto Blaze. Coming out of that teleporter, Pro's kind of fumbled the spray here. But you know what? Aziz is not going to. Aziz is activated, and it happened before on Haven, but it was a touch too late, Kremer. They can't let that happen again. Flipsider will be unable to grab anyone with the right clicks of the old free gun. And that's still 2 no-plant scenarios. I mean, yes, they're wins, and yes, they're dominant, but that's 600 credits for each player that are not there, and 2 extra ult points that haven't been generated by South Built.
That they are, and with a shaky investment from South Built, is their chance to play bonus. Flippy, I think he's sort of hesitating between going for the upgraded rifle just to give yourself that range, or to stick to the Sheriff and keep your money in unison with the rest of your team. Going for the Sheriff, a bit more of an economic viable option, but Boom, rifles around the board. This isn't economically viable. Sure, they outgun their opponents, but a lot of them are buying just sub 1,000. In fact, all of them are buying just sub 200 creds in order to make this happen.
Check out Berserks here. This is usually an angle you might see held with an operator. With a Phantom here, it allows for a good bit of spray control, and you might be expecting a rush when it's going to be a bonus up against a rifle buy. But maybe A's about to finally see some action, and I imagine Blaze is going to be happy with that. I've been waiting forever, boys. They've actually recalled all their stars, so I suspect there's going to be some aggression here.
Slowly starting to replace them as well, and the timing is just wonderful. They do have the assistance of Tebotal, but he is very, very aggressive compared to the Raze who's meant to assist him.
Noisy now on A. Almost everyone's arrived. 5 versus 3 on the site itself as is. Hens up high. Will they be able to see where Predator is, though? The crouching here is in their favor, but Flippy takes too much damage from too many sources. And as is, from this top, they have themselves a high ground advantage. And they do have control of U-Haul. That could be critical. Tebotal's made themselves incredibly close, and they're able to leverage that much to their advantage. That's going to be a pair of kills for Tebotal. Papachulo all alone. 1 versus 4. And the spike's already been defused. They decided not to check on that. And so, Boom will get themselves their 8th round and just about eke out a lead.
That's what they need. They just need their buy to convert. It means that it's still close on the round after. Only losing one player means you can reinvest, no worries. For South Built, they're going to mimic the buy of Boom. This is where it matters. Tebotal, with that showstopper, is what you need to watch out for. That insta-kill, that chance to give you that man advantage, is instrumental in both retakes as well as early prods from your duelists. With Aziz about to get his knives as well, those duelists are going to be so important. With Berserk's just hiding backside. That same angle he tried earlier, it's not been seen, so why not move? In this case, Aziz will be the one to challenge him.
Aziz, oh, his entries have been so clean. And now this is an opening that needs to be worried about by Frostmind. It's going to be Flipsider who tries to hold it, and they've had a fantastic series thus far. Aziz brings out the blades. They move on in. They found themselves Frostmind. They see where Flipsider is, and now Papachulo is holding the teleport, but somehow they just forget to hold down the trigger. What has happened, Kremmer? Jar gets caught on the disengage. This is falling apart for Self, but what was the plan?
All of a sudden, the retake from Boom there is just perfect. South Built stagnate massively.
Flippy at least has got themselves a little bit. Pro is forced to move. Oh my goodness. 1 versus 1. I think I'm getting a couple of network issues right here, and Flipsider definitely has an advantage when it comes to this health. Will they expect Flippy? They might get themselves a free sightline on it here, and they will.
Another strong round, and it's off the back of some supreme patience from Flipsider there. If he drops, then he dies, because he just has to clear showers, knowing he's making noise. You get shots from the side, round's over. In that case, really nice bit of patience. That defuse as well gives him that rolling thunder to be used in future retakes. At 9-7 as well, Boom, putting distance between them and South Built, showing that for South Built, while you guys are good, while you've shown us that bind is a true challenge, you're not good enough. 2 retakes now have gone in favour of Boom, and for South Built, Sheriffs have to come out. The Spike Blast have helped them financially, but not enough to continue buying. It's not an empty check. And as Flippy, sure he's got the Seekers, sure Pro's one away from a Rolling Thunder of his own, they just don't have the firepower to land behind it.
Berserk's back on the Vandal. They're not feeling the off in this particular case, Kramer. And well, Hookah has been cleared, and this emboldens Aziz to move. I'm not a fan of that Bladestorm in the previous round, actually, Kramer. Not really. Like, they already had a rifle, and a Bladestorm would have been really good here. Yeah, up against Flipsider, Aziz has already taken a little bit of damage at this range. It is viable, and it seems they're capturing the attention of multiple members of Boom, while the rest of their squad just list on over to A. Aziz forced to dash away now. And Blaze, they're going to be making contact with multiple sheriffs very soon.
Blaze, call to action, trying to kill them. Also swing into him, but that Viper was so well placed.
Oh, the one-way, Kramer, the one-way, that's one. However, Pro lands the shot that they need to. And Alte Birdle's feeling pretty isolated right here. They are going to be concussed, but no one is able to move in to take advantage of that. Papachulo's going to take their swing. That's a beautiful shot. Oh, my goodness. Could it be the Filipino sheriff finally coming to lay down the law? Maybe a couple of looted rifles here. Aziz has got one in their hands. Here comes the Rolling Thunder. That's going to interrupt the plan. The counter Rolling Thunder comes on through. Berserk is going to be spotted out, but Aziz has kind of fumbled here on the shot. Eventually, we're going to see Flipsider, but they can't control the spray. Papachulo, 1 versus 2 with the Sheriff in hand. This already been a great eco. Can Papachulo turn it into a dub? They're so far away from any lootable rifles, and Flipsider, as usual, gets the clutch all by themselves.
For a moment, Harry, I genuinely thought Papachulo was going to do it with a Sheriff. I mean, that was all that it took. That was all that was required. It just wasn't enough to tick him through. South Built, Jar, 1 away from his Cosmic Divide. Blaze already has his available, but he's going into this with just a Spectre. Sure, it was a 1 round by Boom, but they suffer casualties. And that Butcher's Bill comes in with 4 players. I think it was only 2 players left alive. Only 4 can reinvest. Tebotal still holding on to that showstopper as well.
Check out this new tempo. This is unexpected. Will Berserks get anything off it? No chance, mate. Aziz wins that every time. Here come the Seekers. Follow the cabbages. Avoid the aftershock. Just about going to be the case. A touch of feeling coming in from behind. Aziz sees them, but there's no way to help their wayward friend. And as they go up on the high ground, that's when Flipsider takes the swing. It's a masterfully executed retake of Hookah coming through from the side of Boom. And while 2 may be trapped in teleporter for the moment, it's going to be Flipsider who looks to try and make sure that A cannot be taken painlessly. 10 rounds already for Boom. This is must win, and that's why you see the Viper's Pit given on over.
Flip he's going to drop. He's going to establish a lot of control. He might very close to cancelling that blood. Oh, he doesn't quite cancel it, but he does the damage.
What was that? Papachulo walked out. They were in a vulnerable. And Flipsider, this is their series, Kremmer. This is their moment. Jars all by themselves. 1 versus 3. Fresh spike put on down. The Nova Pulse here to try and stop it, but Frostmine's just holding it. And as Jar takes the swing, Frostmine trusts in their compatriots. The team that has been generated, the new boys that are in. Frostmine says, you know what? I trust you. You've got this. And 11 points is the reward that Boom have gained.
Another strong, very strong round from Boom, and it's another retake that goes in their favor. I really like from both Tebotal and Blaze their reaction to hits to B. They just bomb it into that teleporter, accompanied by the util usage of Flipsider, and he can throw util from B site to hit mid. And that means that they could just straight take this position. They just take the fight before the site's even lost. And it means that while your rotation is in danger, you still get the man advantage when the retake comes through.
Berserks potentially wanting to move forward here. Playoffs, Boom is a different beast, and so too is Berserks. Down this narrow corridor, it was vacated. Berserks moves on forward instantly as this keeps winning this duel, but the rest of their team seems to have trouble with their gunfights. Frostmine going to be identified as this has got themselves a second now. Flipsider needs to die. They can't allow him to remain alive. And Aziz, they might be on track here for an ace. But this spike still needs to be planted. It's now in the hands of Pro. And Aziz waits patiently for Blaze. Well, elsewhere, there will be the flank of Tebotal. And will this be expected? They haven't cleared Elba. And they're all looking mostly towards some kind of breach coming out of that defender spawn. Tebotal's made their way onto the site undetected thus far. They're right under Jar's nose, and Jar falls themselves. Aziz needs to make it work. From behind, Tebotal's got it done. Pro all by themselves.
Oh, Harry!
Oh, Kremmer!
Oh, Harry!
They're falling apart!
What? You forgo match points to Tebotal, who shows some subliminal patience to be able to shift around through long like that. Exceedingly strong round, and at 12-7, South built now are staring down the barrel of a 3-0. The rifling of the gun pressed so heavily to their head it's leaving an imprint on their forehead. That's how much pressure they're under. And for South built, this is where it goes from bad to worse. You don't have the best buy you can have. This isn't your best self to throw at this. The Spectre and Aziz, sure, he's got the knives. Only a Bulldog on Pro. They've got to try and change their tune, and fast. They attempt the hits to A will be what's required. Blaze already at an angle to try and stop them.
5 rounds in a row, all the Philippines dies here. Already, Bren, one of the prides of a Philippines roster, they were taken out by Boom with barely a whimper to their name, Kremmer. And the same could be said here of South Built. Barely even showing up in the lobby so far. The Aftershock's done super huge amounts of damage. Aziz with their Bladestorm. They're yet to even see anybody on Boom. They're taunting them. In comes the Rolling Thunder. As it happens, Aziz hits the headshot that they need to. That refreshes the knives, gives them a new lease on life. But Flipsider once again, this has been his series. This has been his moment. This member of Boom has done so much damage. But in the end, it all comes down to Flippy. 1 versus 2 for all of the Philippines. And they're going to dive through the TP. But will it be a double dip?
It is a double fake. It gives them that glimmer of hope. 35 seconds remaining means he can't be too fastidious with this push. Blaze, luckily, is going to stay. He's going to hide. He won't hear the rotation until the plant is committed to. But this could be the best positioning for him. Over in the lamps, Flippy's got to try and fight him. Otherwise, we're going to be seeing him shot from behind and mercilessly executed.
Blaze, the last member of Old Boom, the veteran here, is going to hear the plant. There's no way for Flippy to avoid this now. It needs to be held, and so Blaze will end all of the Royal SEA Challenge. It's a slow walk, it's a single shot, but it means the same thing when it comes to our 10k prize pool.
They're going to emerge victorious. Boom. In a 3-0 fashion, emerge as your champions of the Royal SEA Challenge. They go into the group stage. They suffer through the group stage. They only just limp their way through in 3rd place, only winning 1 series in their whole group stage. They go to playoffs. We expect them to be railed by a Bren who are playing out of their minds in Group B. They upset the first Filipino team. They move on to Paper Rex, the favourites of the tournament. They take down them. They move to the 2nd Filipino team, the South Built, who have gone in with a giant killer buff. But it just isn't enough, Harry. Boom. A dominant way to take the lion's share of that $10,000 prize pool.
$10,000 prize pool aptly provided by a bunch of our friends. Epulze put on this tournament, Crema, and they're doing a mighty service here to Southeast Asian Valorant, as well as showcasing how many top-tier teams we have in this region. In the end, when it comes to a playoff buff, Boom are simply unbreakable.
That they are, Harry. We're gonna set up an interview with Boom, aren't we?
Yes, we will.
We are, right.
Hopefully.
while you do that, I'm going to try and cut to the cameras and hope it doesn't break. And we can take a moment to talk to you guys. That's right, the 4th wall is about to be shattered with this.
The 4th wall is gone, man.
We're going to have to see if the webcams work, as we haven't used this scene for like quite a while, actually. I think it works. It looks like it works. Anyways, you guys, yes, you in the chat. We've got about 1.4k people watching on Twitch. I think about 3,000 on YouTube as well. This was made possible because of Epulze. They did this with no sponsors. Like, these guys just made the tournament. So, they've made it all possible. Me and Harry like the SEA region. I particularly like the SEA region quite a lot. Epulze like the SEA region. But in order for this to kind of happen again, because let's be honest, if you host it yourself without a sponsor, you ain't making money. They go check them out. They spam links in the chat pretty much throughout the tournament. The way Epulze works is they host tournaments, and they sort of specialize in the SEA region, in CS, in Dota, in Valorant, I think they even do Overwatch. They do a lot at Epulze. So go give them the love they deserve. They monitor the traffic of their website at times like these tournaments. So your contribution, even if it's just looking at what the website's like, helps make this thing happen again. A few thank yous as well. Our production team has been 4 people doing the job of about 10. So we need to thank Dropbear, who is a absolute hero for being not only our backup admin, the guy who does all the replays, the guy who makes all the compilations, the guy who makes all the graphics, the guy who helps get the teams on time. So he is a unsung hero here. Like, I thought I was doing pretty good observing, producing, and casting. That's nothing compared to this guy. So Dropbear deserves all the love in the world. And our admin Houdini is having to get through, I think, about 2 language barriers to make this all happen. So he deserves the love as well. All of them, incredible team to work with. And yeah, it's all possible thanks to you guys. Are we ready for an interview, Harry? Who else
we can cut it to about a minute's break and set this up.
A minute's break to set this up. That sounds wonderful. Of course, I've been Newcastle Crema 3. I've been joined by the wonderful Leg Day. This has been a wonderful tournament. Don't go anywhere, because we're about to have a winner's interview. Like I said, about a minute. You know what? We can cut to highlights. Why not? We've got some highlights. We haven't shown them yet.
Yeah, let's have some highlights.
Let's go to the highlights. Right, we'll be back in about a minute or so.
Far hoisted by your confidence in the free gun. Pinocchio's, though, seems to try and think that this is winnable. But no one's behind them. They've already connected 2 headshots. Can they connect any more? 5 bullets in the magazine, Crema. Oh, but the second to last goes into Jing's head. Pinocchio, could they do it? Could they do it for Thailand? Yes, they can. 1v4, baby, in Pinocchio's. Oh, mwah, bellissimo. Are gonna have to deal with a C6 and Alert. It's a mirror matchup. There's the ultimate from Sharper. Does Benkai want to try and hold this angle? It's going to be destroyed. Benkai dies. Friendly fire. Device taking out their own best friends. And now in the 1 versus 1, a C6 versus Devi. A C6 has been the hero of Thailand. But can they do it one more time. Time's not on their side, so they're looking to try and make this work instead. They see the knife spot. They run it through.
Oh, he's done it!
Six, the hero! Beginning of this aggression, Grassani is going to be identified first. A ping there. Doom's Jar on the other side of this, but Papachulo, they're ready, they're waiting. They've got themselves 3 already, and they could be on track here for the ace. However, Jarpix is making their own forays outside. Matt will deny, but the 4th is easy. Papachulo, daddy's home, baby. Jarpix just continues to elucidate the pressure. And now Assist is rushing on forward. That's one to Grassania's head. Can they mimic this occurrence? Onto Jarpix. Papachulo elsewhere. They're not just good with rifles. Jarpix just turns and turns and turns. And everywhere they turn, they find an enemy. Eventually, it'll be an ace. Put down here. Into the back. Try and reinforce this area. Micro's forced to move, but as they do, both gunfights are won by bleed. It's about damn time they found their mojo, but could it be too little and too late? Grassani gets themselves yet another resurrection. Aziz actually just comes out right in front of first love. Aziz could get themselves even a 6k here if they want to do so. That's the first, and that's going to be, although it doesn't come up, an ace.
Harry, what on earth was that from Aziz? He's for a moment, right?
Showstopper. It's Micro.
Isn't being res today.
Good start. Frosty's been a little bit frisky. That's 3 now. That grenade means that everyone else has to keep on moving. Oh my god! Frosty's can get 6, but they're going to be denied it. Can't afford to fumble this. One player's been detained. But if you go looking for it, you're going to meet the judge. Benkai gets themselves to 2nd. Yes, it will be reported back. But Tay Birdle now, all by themselves. They put themselves down. One of these. Benkai's found a little bit more.
Kills the wrong person.
Oh, the sniper for judge.
Oh,
Benkai. To be the key. They need to be the secret. That's yet another. The dismiss gives them a touch of safety as they try to once again find their...
Oh, and no tournament is complete without a winner's interview. In our top left, we have Flipsider. In our top right, we have Frostmind. 2 players who were instrumental to the success of their team earlier. And, well, I think it went without saying, they definitely were able to deliver. Incredible finals from you guys. Congratulations. How are you feeling?
I don't know what to say right now because
I'm
honestly,
feeling very thank you.
honestly, I feel like I don't know. The group stage is kind of shaky for us, and then moving to the playoff and having these results like these like quarterfinals, semifinals, and in the grand finals, I just cannot believe what we've done, and I'm grateful for my team.
With the group stage being that shaky, what was the main thing that changed for you guys, do you think, between group stage and playoffs?
I think I can answer this. The most reason is I think because we were like 1 week. We having 1 week of practice only, and then that is our. Oh yeah, I think that was our first tournament.
Yeah.
As a team. That's why I think we are quite shaky in that one. Yeah.
Fair enough. In that game against South Built, at any point were you sort of worried that this was going to be a fairly long series, or were you sure you were going to dominate start to finish?
To be honest, like from the start, I'm very like confident in my team. Like we can not crush them, but maybe we can like take the win convincingly. But after we get the 2-0, I was just like, okay, this is gonna be like the 3-0 for us. Like the confidence is like up there, you know. And then like we just like cruise them. Yeah. So I think that's how I'm feeling for me personally.
But when it comes down to the overall structure of these grand finals, do you guys think that you won a huge amount in the map veto? Because Kremer and I have been saying for the whole tournament, you guys picked Fracture on day 1. And since then, everyone's just had to insta-ban Fracture against you. Otherwise, they get worried you guys don't pick it.
Yeah. Because I think, I don't know, we kind of feel like, I mean, as a team, personally, I feel every one of us, like, can do something to win us the game. So like every map, no matter what map it is, and the IGL call is like perfect in this series as well. So I think it doesn't like bother us a lot. I mean, there's obviously like a stronger map for us, like our stronger map and like our weakest map and stuff. But I think every map we can like handle them. I think, yeah, pretty well.
Yeah, I think because of like not so many team playing Fracture nowadays.
Yeah,
Like
true.
because it's like early, the agent pool is so early now. Yeah, I think
Mm.
because that's why. And then we quite strong in that map, can say. That's why everybody just ban it, ban it, ban it, ban it.
Yeah.
Play other map.
Do you guys have a sort of pistol round strategy? Because your use of frenzies is, you guys buy them a lot more than any other team in the tournament, and for some reason you guys just make them work. Is there any plan behind that, or are you just good in general?
I think everyone we never really talk about what pistol should we buy. So like anyone who want to buy sheriff, buy frenzy can do it. It's just I think because of our aim is quite good. That's why we can play the frenzy pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for reference as well. Sorry to cut you off, Frostbite.
Ah,
Quick
it's okay.
word, how do we say your name?
I think you said correctly because when Indo like they call me like the Indo accent, you know?
Yeah,
Ah,
there's
okay.
like a different saying in our
Yeah,
language and like
yeah,
English. Yeah, so that's why I don't think like we can explain in English how the Indo people say it
Got you.
yeah.
because
Got
it's
you.
our like bahasa, our language. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're just uncultured,
So,
Harry.
you're just settling an argument for us with chat that's been vaguely happening over the last
Throughout the tournament.
10 to 13 days.
Yeah.
So you guys are about to get a little cash injection. So I've got a less Valorant related question, which is just about you guys as a team. Celebratory meal. What are you guys going to be getting?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I hope
Not
our
that far
manager
ahead.
watching this and then some. Can you buy something like pizza maybe like for five of us?
Something nice. We are
Yeah, I
waiting.
think I don't know. I think we just
Yeah.
gonna eat anything like we because we won, right? We gonna celebrate. Yeah, like
No,
we just
fair enough.
gonna eat anything they give or
Yep.
we buy.
Hmm. Do you guys have any final words to say to your fans who have been supporting you start to finish throughout this tournament? You know, in for the finals, you guys, when we did a map prediction on YouTube, it was 95% of players out of 800 votes said you guys were going to
Mhm.
win. Do you have
Uh,
any messages to say to your fans? You know, just to support.
uh, what to say? Maybe, yeah, as always, thank you for everyone who's supporting us from the start, who's supporting us maybe starting from the playoff, looking at our recent performance as well. Like I don't mind people hate us, even like some Indo supporters like keep telling us like we are so bad, blah 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 blah. I don't feel like they know like the situation, and finally we figure things out like for this tournament as well. So I just want to say thank you and keep supporting us, and hopefully we can keep this consistency in a long run. And until next year, PCT.
Well, I've seen a lot of people commenting in the
Yeah.
chat, but VCT next year for Southeast Asia, it's going to be absolutely stacked.
It is.
Who do you guys think you're going to have a big rival in VCT in 2022?
Big rival. I think it's like the main team that go to Southeast Asia, like Pepper X maybe or like Team Secret. I don't
Yeah.
know. I think we can beat anyone. I don't think we gonna have so much problem if we keep playing like us, like now, or we can do better. You know.
Yeah.
Mm.
Still
Um,
a long way to go. So yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
still a long way to go. Like a few months, 4 months, 5 months from
Mm.
now.
I mean, this is with only a week of practice, so how good you guys
Yeah,
going to be
exactly.
after like
Yeah,
4 or 5 months?
Hopefully, yeah.
It's going to be
hopefully
a
we
brand
can
new
be
boom,
so good.
baby.
On the topic of kind of thank you messages, Meow, we tried to get him for the interview. Unfortunately, he's going to be traveling to the boot camp, so he can't do it now. But we have a message from him to kind of all the fans, which is I'd like to say thank you to our fans. They've been supporting us in hard times, and this is just the first of many trophies to come. Please do to continue supporting Boom Esports. Thank you very much, and he's given it a lovely little happy face for you guys. So that's a message from
Thank you.
Meow. Again, boom. Congratulations to you guys. An incredible tournament start to finish from you. And what an exciting way to kind of end it all with a very dominant finals.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for your
Yeah.
casting as well.
Oh,
Thank you so much for having us.
I'll let you
It's our
talk.
pleasure. You guys are
Thank you.
amazing.
Shut up and Harry carries me. That's how it works. on that note, though, we actually forgot to mention it in the pre-game. This isn't the last we'll see from Epulze in the SEA scene. There
Okay.
will be more tournaments. I don't know when. I don't know how frequently, but there will be more. So hopefully we see you guys there. Actually, now you mentioned
All right,
it.
we'll be waiting. Hopefully we can see you again.
Oh, that's if we get hired back. That's
Unlikely.
still that's still in now.
But with that, everybody, thank you all so much for joining us for the Royal SEA Challenge. That's all for now. As I mentioned, we'll be back at some point. Until then, follow Boom, go give Frostmind and Flipsider their love. Actually, do you guys, what's your social media? Do you use Twitter? Do you use Instagram? Do you use anything? What's the...
For IG,
We all the same.
yeah, we
In
use
Instagram, we
our
all the same, like boom underscore and then
underscore
our
name.
nickname.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, they
So you
have
can just find like that.
Yeah, for Twitter, maybe you can search from the Boom social media stuff. I think there's some like tweet or reply from there. Yeah,
there.
you can find it there.
They have it on
Yeah.
Instagram, boom_Frostmind and boom_Flipsider. Go give them the love they deserve. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you all in the future. Have a wonderful, wonderful couple of months. We'll hopefully see you in more tournaments. Until then, take it easy. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Fill me out with your smile. Now the sunshine brings the light. Fill me out with a flame. I will let you in this game.